Okay, we're live with another Cartridge Club Hangout. I'm here with Mighty Q Dog. How's it going?
Yay! I'm good. First time, first one.
Okay, we're live with another Cartridge Club Hangout. Okay, I've got to remember for the billionth time to turn the video off in the background.
Yeah. Thought that was me for a second.
No, you shouldn't have heard it out of my end because I've got headphones on, but who knows?
I heard something. I heard some kind of weird delay echo.
Odd. Anyway, how's it going?
Good, 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 good.
You know it's good because of all the goods.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Typical stuff's going on. We were talking about Switch a moment ago before you turned it on live. Lots of good Switch stuff is coming out, it seems, in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm really only familiar with Octopath and like Sonic Mania Plus coming out. I don't really actually pay that much attention to Switch releases for whatever reason.
Okay.
I don't have anything against it. I don't really look at the odd titles coming out. I know of Shining Resonance though, but I know of at least one person that could be watching this that might disagree with my views on that game. At least when I played in the demo. Yeah.
Is that an exclusive?
No.
Okay.
It should be, because then fewer people would play it. Kidding.
Oh. I was looking into it. I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's just a little generic and a little slow paced.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily bad. There's just better choices.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of recent releases like Octopath and Sonic Mania, which isn't exclusive, but that's one that I know came out. And didn't the Mega Man X collection come out today? And
yeah, I assume so. The combined version. And yes, my hate on Shining Resonance summoned Yoshi in the chat.
Oh, he heard that, huh?
Yep. I don't have anything against dragons and waifus so much as very, very slow dialogue on static character models with very generic combat and okay voice acting. The Nana Mizuki song at the end, I assume that's who it was. Couldn't save the demo for me. Troy can't join because of the Chicago thing tomorrow. That's fine.
Yeah, he's heading tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think people would be starting to head off that quickly, but I'm not part of the planning, so. You're muted.
Awesome. Sorry about that. Yeah, all I was saying was nothing. A few people are there already.
Oh, okay.
We haven't left yet. Obviously, we're going to leave in a few days, but we don't have to talk about that yet because I'm sure we'll talk about it when a bunch of other people join.
Yeah, the Cartridge Con talk shall flow.
Yeah. Oh, did I say hi to the chat?
You said hi in the chat.
I said, yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm reading the chat a little bit. I'm sure that's a Yoshi and them. Yeah, they're both having different conversations. All right. Well, I'll tell you, I picked up a couple of Switch games. I don't know if it matters to spoil them for the pickups. I don't know if I do them anyway, but I will reveal this much. I did finally grab, it's been out for a while, I think, the Street Fighter 30th anniversary. Been playing that on the Switch. I don't know a damn thing about Street Fighter. I feel like I'm barely making progress figuring out how this game works. It's very stressful for me. I feel it's a lot different than the other fighters I've played, like the AI or at least in the arcade version. It's very aggressive. They're not giving you a shot. I don't know if I'm just slowing down in my old age or what, but I feel like it's a very finally, I don't know, maybe its reputation precedes it, and I'm just intimidated. But man, I'm struggling with it.
Yeah, AI in fighting games can be a pain in the ass. It cannot be worse than Mortal Kombat 2 on the Genesis.
No,
That
that's one I'm
is
used to playing.
impossible.
But I never beat those games. But I used to be okay at Mortal Kombat 2, and maybe not on the Genesis, but I don't know. Street
Yeah,
Fighter was weird to me.
yeah, I've never really gotten used to Mortal Kombat, even though I played a ton of it, or at least the PS2 generation ones I played a ton of. So that might just be it. I'm not huge into Street
PS2.
Fighter either.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm getting there, playing it on the Switch. It's nice. Using the Pro controller. I don't know if that's I don't have a fighting stick or whatever, and I went back and forth. I couldn't decide if I should use the analog or the D-pad.
From what I've heard of the Pro controller's D-pad, probably the analog stick on that one.
Well, I'm glad because that is what I ultimately settled on. I was having more success with the moves than with the D-pad.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with the D-pads this generation. I think PS4 is fine, maybe. I haven't really used it a whole bunch for anything recently, actually. But I played through Sonic 1 on the not 360, the Xbox One controller with the D-pad. That probably wasn't ideal, but I was able to do it.
Okay. I'm not I know people have their favorites for different D-pads, and they say certain controllers are worse than others. I've never been good enough to notice or care. So yeah, I couldn't tell you which controller's D-pad is good or bad. You said you played Sonic though. Have you checked out the new the Sonic Mania Plus?
No, but I've actually been well, I played through the first one, but I kind of stockpiled all the original titles on Xbox One just to have it all on one platform on the modern television. And those I can't remember the name of the company that does the ports on those, but it's the same company that did the Ultimate Genesis collection and the new collection. But I found there was input lag on the Ultimate collection.
Oh no.
And I even tried the demo on 360, and there was a little bit of input lag there, but then I played it on Xbox One, and it's perfect. Or at least
good.
From what I could tell, like it solved all the problems just in the minor upgrades you get. But anyway, I was just kind of stockpiling all those on that one system because Xbox is basically the successor to the Sega consoles to me. Just it's the most similar, and they had exclusives, and it just makes sense to continue there.
That's how I do it too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been building up to see if I'm really that interested in Mania because I've never really beaten the original one, so I want to do that first, or at least try.
Okay.
I did use save states, but only between the stages. I started doing it in the act, starting with Labyrinth, because it was just driving me nuts. I didn't know you could just chase him up the friggin' thing and not have to fight him.
Yeah. I beat Sonic 1 within the last year or two, but I didn't beat it. I got to the end of the game using save states because there was no way I could beat it, and then there was certainly no way I was going to do it with the Chaos Emerald. So I would save at the beginning of each of the bonus stages and make sure I get the Emerald so I could see the real ending. I don't even remember what it was.
I think it's just like a change in the text or something stupid for the first one. Because I beat the game with missing one Chaos Emerald. I didn't do the save states on those.
Okay.
I just tried to see. It wasn't like just for the sake of like challenging myself or anything. I just wanted to beat the game for once.
Yeah.
It was. Hey, Yoshi.
Hey, Yoshi.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, and this is the first time I'm seeing you without a beard. That's very strange.
Yeah. That's true. Has your hair always been that long?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it just looks different without the beard.
Yeah, so how's it going?
Okay.
I know you're probably still
like crap most of the time.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's just been one thing after another all summer.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, you'll get better eventually. You may still have some lingering stuff, but I'm sure it'll mostly go away at the very least. It'll just take time.
Well, Hopefully within the next month or so.
Hopefully within the next couple days or so. That would be ideal, but unfortunately these
Yeah.
things take a while. It sounds like you got it kind of pretty late with the deficiencies, unfortunately.
Yeah. They never did blood work when I first went in, so I don't really know exactly what was wrong. They don't know exactly what happened. It's just kind of like, this is what we think happened.
Yeah, that sounds
You don't
about
have
right.
the symptoms now, so we don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, maybe blood work would have been a good idea.
Yeah, when I first went in and wasn't able to move.
Yeah, that from what little I know of B12 deficiency, that really does sound like what the main thing would have been, and the other nutritional deficiencies at that point. But like that takes a
That
long time to kick in. So if you were getting that, that was like really on the nerves and everything. So that sucks that you didn't catch it before then.
eh,
What are you gonna
I
do?
don't
Not a
even know
lot.
if that's the actual cause, so
Not, to be fair, not a lot of people know about B12, so it's just something that happens.
yeah. Oh well. At least I'm like alive.
Yeah, at least you're working on it and you are aware now and you can do that.
So I also found out I'm hypoglycemic, so
Yeah, that
that's
could.
not fun.
That's probably a relation to the other stuff. That might not be like a thing on its own.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, don't eat potato chips. If I eat potato chips, I'm gonna pass out in like a half hour.
Yeah, that's probably true for most people.
I'm not even kidding. No, I mean like get really dizzy and just whomp.
Yeah, because of the processed carbohydrates, it's just basically straight sugar into your system at that point. It
Pretty
digests
much.
super fast, and then you just get it all at once, and then you just crash. So that's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still sad about this. I know you don't like this game, but I don't know if you can even
I got
see that, but
damaged. I can see a little bit on the corner.
oh, the whole slip sleeve is like melty.
That's unfortunate.
And
Is that the damage? Is that damage from shipping? Is that what you're disappointed about, or are you talking about the game generally?
no, I'm disappointed in the damage from shipping. I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just trolling you about the game mostly.
But yeah, UPS dented my the metal slip case.
Yeah, I
But
think I remember seeing that.
the game itself is perfectly fine. And the only option Amazon gave me is, well, you can return it for a refund.
You
Not
can't
even a
exchange it?
replacement. You can return it for a refund.
Huh.
That was
Well,
it.
Well,
You don't have them.
conceivably, you could return it for a refund and then just buy it again, but that's a pain in the ass.
No, I couldn't, because then you don't get the Draconic Launch Edition.
Unfortunately.
So I could have returned
Dude,
it for a
sucks.
refund for $40 and then
And
had
then
to pay $50 to get the standard edition of the game.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
I hate that.
Thank
I
you,
hate that.
Amazon.
Yeah.
My only
My
other
response
idea would
was,
be to contact
screw
the
you.
developer or something, but not the developer, but the publisher.
Just be like, hey, Sega, Amazon and UPS screwed up my copy. Can you send me a new slip sleeve?
Hey, I've done that before, not with Sega, but I did that with Funimation. A couple Full Metal Alchemist DVDs came without slipcovers, and I said, hey, I got these ones. Can you just send me the slipcovers? And they did, for free. They
Yeah, I might
literally just sent
contact
me
Sega.
slipcovers. Yeah.
I might
it would hurt.
contact Sega and be like, so UPS and Amazon screwed this up. Well, it doesn't help. I'm at the end of the UPS route in my area. So
Yeah.
it sat in a friggin', 100+ degree truck, probably with a whole bunch of crap piled on top of it in a flimsy little Amazon, bubble pack.
Yeah. Maybe if they do send you a replacement somehow, you can just give them your invoice. That's what I had to do before. Maybe if they can send you a replacement for it, you can just request not UPS or better packaging.
Well,
something.
this whole problem could be avoided with Amazon if Amazon would just give you the option of what shipping carrier you want it to come through and how you want it packaged. Let me choose between putting it in a box or putting it in a bubble carrier. I don't care if I have to pay an extra $1 or $2 to put it in a freaking box. Let me do that.
Yeah, I can relate. I received a 1,500-page omnibus in a box with a piece of like the flimsy little cardboard packing material, like little cardboard paper, and somehow there was a page in the middle of the book that was ripped in half. Nothing else wrong with it.
Oh, speaking of stuff like that, I have textbooks over here that I've paid, 100, 200 plus dollars for. They shipped them with nothing but an air pack in a box.
Oy.
So they showed up and all the corners were dented and the plastic wrap was ripped apart. And I'm like, hey, Amazon, this is a $200 textbook. What the hell?
Yeah, that happens. That's really common with the larger comics, too. It's just like, get it out as fast as possible.
Well, it doesn't help that they treat all the employees like shit, so...
Yeah, and that's why get things out as fast as possible. We don't give a shit. Just do it fast so you don't get fired.
Yeah, because we're going to track you on how much shit you ship, which is pretty much inhumane, if you ask me. A lot of these big corporations have very inhumane practices, and they get away with it.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Anyway, so how's Shining Resonance?
Good. It's a visual novel with an action RPG tacked on the side.
Nice. Hey, Musty.
That is the most accurate description of Shining Resonance I can give you. It's a visual novel with an action RPG strapped on the side. That is very much, the game feels like it was a budget title made for a Japanese audience.
That
just so happened to get a localization.
Yeah, my issues with it just come with, like, it just seems a little generic and cheaply made. Seems like a fun game
budget
otherwise.
title.
Yep. Anyway, Musty, you're going to want to unmute. At some point.
Well, at least I'm not the only one with bad lighting.
It took me a while to fix that. It's probably still, like, okay lighting over here.
I could fix it. I just have to walk over there and flip on a light switch. But then I have to deal with fluorescent light bulbs, and I hate fluorescent light bulbs.
Am I audible?
Also,
yes, you are.
There we go. We figured it out.
Also, these things hum. That's why I never use them.
Oh, I can see that's just like the built-in. That sucks. That would be really hot right now. Anyway, how's it going, Musty?
Good. We are 3 shelves down. we got this one, and then the glass display case still to make. And this kid's got to go to bed soon. We'll see.
You planning on getting that all together before C3?
Oh yeah. Well, I want to know. I want to know what is like what my space looks like, so I can determine which ones need doors and which ones need drawers and all of that. So it's mostly. I anticipate you'll see it before the end of the night.
Awesome.
Yes.
Is this going to be Watch Musty assemble IKEA furniture live?
Bingo.
Yep. You missed. Were you on the one when we saw him painting live?
No, I haven't been here for a while. I've mostly been laying around in bed doing nothing. That hasn't been fun, by the way.
Except for I was going to say, except for the health issues, that actually doesn't sounds pretty good. But not if
just laying here playing video games because I don't really have much else to do that I feel like doing, which makes me sad.
Well,
I have like thousands of dollars of electronics equipment like 10 feet away from me, and I don't feel like using any of it.
No, that is a shame.
I managed to get there for like an hour or two the other day, so that's an improvement.
Good. I'm glad to hear you dropped some credits next semester, though.
Yeah, I decided to drop differential equations, which I'm sad about because I was excited to learn differential equations, but it makes my schedule much easier.
Yeah.
Because then I only have to be there Monday from 1 to 9, and then the rest of the time I don't have to be there any sooner than like 3 o'clock. None of this 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. rubbish.
Hmm.
Those sound like
With an
some
hour
late
drive
classes.
each way.
Your classes
Huh?
don't start till 3?
Yeah, all of my programs classes are usually evening classes.
Is that right? Okay.
Well, we have super low enrollment in the EET program,
Okay.
but most of the people in the EET program are working, so they like work full time and take like 1 or 2 classes a semester.
Yeah. Okay.
So they have to be night classes so that people can attend them. There's lots of reasons. I've talked to the program chair about it because I complained about the night classes before, and he said, "I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about that."
Yeah.
The classes are scheduled for when they are scheduled.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that our enrollment is super, super low. EE enrollment's good. EET enrollment's crap. And it doesn't help that a lot of people that are picking EE should be in the EET because they'd be getting much better grades. But there's some like stigma right now that's like people are thinking you can't get a job with an EET degree, which is pretty much just BS.
Yeah.
Both degrees are pretty much equivalent from my college. Because the way my program chair says it is our EET degree is more theoretical than most EET degrees, and our EE degree is more practical than most EE degrees.
Yeah. Musty,
His
your
whole
son
thing
is
is
karate chopping stuff.
So he took one of the box that keeps all the hardware. He's
All right.
turned it into a
oh man,
Mega Buster.
Sorry, Yoshi. Go ahead.
it's fine. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I'm just hoping I can manage to make it to college for the next semester. Because I really don't want to like drop it. I mean, dropping one class and only taking like 14 credits is much more reasonable than, dropping the entire semester. Because I don't want to set myself back that much.
Yeah.
Because my choices are I can take 18 credits a semester and finish in a year and a half, or I can take 12 to 14 a semester and finish in 2 years, or I can drop the whole semester and then add like another 2.5 years to my friggin' degree, which I don't want to do.
No.
I've already been in school for 3.5 years.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Pretty much, he said the only way you can get the degree in 4 years is if you take 18 plus credits a semester and you come in with, basically come in at calculus level for math. You have to come in and not have to take any remedial courses whatsoever. And basically start in their system.
Yeah.
Which actually costs more.
Well,
University's not cheap anymore.
no.
I wish I could say it was. Oh well.
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to argue that the degree isn't going to pay itself back.
Oh, it's gonna pay itself back pretty much when I graduate.
Yeah,
I'm almost certain of that.
I think you're probably. Yeah, I think it makes sense to continue with it. I know it's expensive right now, but technology and engineering degrees are pretty much in demand or undersupplied all the time. So,
well, my program chair said if you graduate with this degree and you can't find a job before you graduate, it's not the degree's fault. It's not the program's fault. It's your fault.
yeah, that's some words of encouragement, but yeah, it's.
Well, he likes to talk about all the successful people that have gone through the program.
Yeah.
And how lots of people have come back and gotten MBAs and now run companies that make multi-billion 1,000, 100,000, some multi-million-dollar companies, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't imagine why that kind of degree would be in demand as we talk on our computers and phones over
Yeah.
huge streaming services with all these moving parts and servers and all these things that could go wrong at any second and frequently do.
Well,
yeah.
I'm just glad I chose something where I can use my brain.
Yeah.
Dad, pretend I'm trapped.
So that should come in handy.
Dad, just pretend I'm trapped in the
I don't know what's going to happen.
Musty, I'm just going to
Anyway.
mute you for practicality purposes.
That's fine.
By the way, how's my audio? Does
It's
it sound
fine.
okay? I don't know if it's coming through my headphones or coming from the phone itself.
Just gauging distance, it seems like it's coming through the headphones.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yay, Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, you just don't sound far away at all, so it's probably fine.
Yeah.
Only thing I've been playing recently is some Captain Toad, and that's about it. I haven't been playing a lot of games recently.
I take it the Switch version?
Yeah. I missed it on Wii U, so I figured why not?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
definitely. Yeah.
I have the Wii U version, so I'm like, no, I will not rebuy this Nintendo. That makes no sense.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, but a lot of people missed it on Wii U because a lot of people missed the Wii U. So
Yeah,
this is true.
I mean,
it makes
the
sense for
Switch
them to
is-
put it out.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the whole problem I've had with the Switch so far is there's a lot of great games coming out, but most of them are Wii U ports, and most of them don't make sense to rebuy unless it's something like, Mario Kart 8, which
Where a lot
does
of
kind
people
of
need to
make
be
sense. Well, that, and it's a great game to take with you and be like, hey, here, take this Joy-Con, let's play.
Yeah.
But most of the games they've re-released, I'm like, no.
Well, if
You
you
already got
have them.
$60 for it.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're saying this, but I don't get this equivalence that people make when they're talking about ports and remasters. Like, well, they're not making me buy this again. It's like, who's making you? They're putting a product back on the market. Do you say that when they make a Blu-ray version of a movie that was only on DVD before?
I don't
Or
say
a
they're
4K
not.
version?
They're trying to make me rebuy the game. I'm pretty much just like, no, I'm not rebuying the game.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for re-releasing it for the other people.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking like in relation to that other people that say that. I wasn't saying you were going with that. I don't know why
Also,
I'm right now.
the majority of my Switch collection is RPGs.
I'm shocked.
And as far as RPGs go, I highly recommend Ys 8.
I've got it on PS4. It's a great game.
The translation on this one's slightly different for whatever reason.
No, it's not, but the other one was patched. You just got it automatically. I think. It might have been a patch on the Switch as well.
There was still a lot of really screwy stuff. Like, you go from Roman to Rom, and I'm like, what?
What's that?
And all
Somebody's
sorts-
name it changed?
Roman, like the Roman Empire.
Oh.
They spelled it ROMUN in the game, which I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But then there's places in the game where it's ROM, and apparently the voice actors they hired didn't realize that it was different and just followed whatever script they were given.
They just read the literal, yeah.
Yeah. There's times where they'll be like, in the same segment, they'll say Roman, and then a little bit later they'll say ROM, and I'm just like, what the hell, this?
Yeah, I can see them spelling it differently before, just because like that's what video games do. They do like the fantasy version titles of things.
Yeah, which makes sense, but like calling it two different things, and then they go from being like Greece to Grecian, and all sorts of other weird translation errors. The translation is bad in a lot of places.
Well, they had
the voice acting is good.
Yeah, they had to hire another editor to pass over the translation again because it was so terrible initially, and they had to bring voice actors back in to re-record dialogue.
Yeah, they didn't re-record all of it.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't. They probably re-recorded as little as possible.
Yeah, that's got to be expensive.
Yeah, especially for a
And
game
also-
like that that's great, but very niche.
Also, here's the crazy part. You don't even get the Japanese voice pack for this.
Yeah, that was my suspicion since you were using the dub.
Yeah. Apparently, the Japanese voice pack comes out in like next couple days, or it was
That's good.
supposed to come out in the middle of July, but it didn't.
That's really weird, especially since that would have been done for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, what the hell, NIS? Falcom, please don't let NIS translate any future games. Thank you.
Yeah, Xseed was fine.
Xseed did a much better job.
Yep.
Then again, NIS is one of those companies where if you buy a game from them, it's either going to be complete garbage or it's going to be a good game.
So every publisher ever.
Not quite.
The
NIS is
vast
more
majority.
like NIS publishes a lot of garbage.
Oh,
Mediocre garbage.
Xseed does too, with like the Senran and Kagura stuff. I'm not saying like those are
Yeah.
necessarily bad, it's just kind of schlocky.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, you know
Then
why
again,
they're selling those ones. So they can afford to do the others.
Pretty much. That, and it's pretty much they just take whatever rights they can get, would
Yeah.
be my guess.
You gotta make money. They're not a huge publisher.
Yeah. And they're pretty much just localizing games anyway.
I'm sure that... Actually, I know for a fact the voice acting in Ys 8 is better than Ys 6.
Oh, jeez. I still haven't played that.
You should, but not on PS2 or PSP.
Why? Because the voice acting sucks?
Well, PS2, the voice acting is terrible. Delightfully so, but it's terrible. And PSP
I'm okay with some...
runs horribly, but it doesn't have the voice acting. So you're best off getting it off GOG or something where it looks the best, it plays the best, and there's no voice acting. Best version.
There's some... What was it? I think I had... Honestly, with most niche Japanese games, when they bring them over, I kind of prefer when they just, like, leave the Japanese voice acting that was there intact and just put subtitles. But then there was also the argument of a lot of people of, I can't read that fast. I want English voice acting because I can't read that fast and I don't want to read.
It depends on the game, but I actually did go with English for Ys 8, but that was just for convenience. It sounded fine. But
The English dub was acceptable.
yeah.
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, but things like if you're playing like a Dynasty Warriors style game, that's where it's very helpful because you cannot stop punching 1,000 people to read like background dialogue. Because I did that with Fist of the North Star, and it was that was much easier. But I definitely prefer it with games like Yakuza that they just went with the subtitles.
Yeah, but it's all subjective anyway.
Yeah.
But I also know a lot of people that tell me math is hard and they don't want to read.
Also true.
To which I'm like, why are you buying an RPG if you don't want to read? I've had that conversation with some friends of mine. They don't buy very many RPGs anymore.
I wonder why.
What was it? Remember one friend when I was playing through Resident Evil Revelations? Like, we were sitting there playing it, passing the controller back and forth. I wanted to sit there and read through all the, like, notes and everything that were in the game. And he's like, come on, man, this is boring.
All
Let's
the data
kill some
logs.
zombies.
Yeah. You should recommend these people the Bleach game, the third Phantom on the DS. There's not very much reading in that game. By which I mean, there's a freaking novel in that game. I specifically didn't play that game because it's a strategy RPG, but it's like, I have never seen so much dialogue in a game, like, between moments. And it's like, there's obviously no voiceover because it's a DS game, so there's no voiceover whatsoever, but there's just a ton of text at all times.
Yeah, I could see that. And also, apparently, Shining Resonance Refrain has a dating system. I haven't gotten that far yet.
In a game where you tweeted out the fact that you can look up the girl's pants, I'm
Yes.
not surprised.
You can only do that in the character viewer.
Oh, at least they restricted it.
Also, I was like,
kids, gotta hide that feature.
which is why it's only rated teen and not mature. And I'm like, really? I found it amusing. I wasn't expecting it to work. I'm just like, I was just looking, like, what's this? Library? Okay, cool. I can look at character models and, like, monster models and all that stuff. And then I'm just turning them around and just like, oh, you can look up the skirt. That's nice, game. Good job, Sega.
They don't hide it like Nier Automata.
Pretty much. Most of the Western game releases, they hide that stuff, and I don't understand why.
Nier also calls you out, though, because it has it as a metric in the stats.
Yeah, it tells
Really?
you how long you've stared at it.
Or like how many attempts you've made to try and look.
This game doesn't care.
Yep. That is the premise it is selling you on.
Also, but...
Yeah. It's pretty much dragons, waifus, and like some story about the Shining Dragon, but
Yeah.
If you don't like, as I said, not a fan of visual novels, don't buy it. If you like visual novels and very heavy anime manga style exposition, it's okay. Just okay.
Yeah, I couldn't take it in the demo. There was just way too much talking. Like,
Yeah, that's
nothing.
most of the game.
Yeah, it's not that I mind lots of exposition in a game. It's just when there's absolutely nothing going on. On top of that, it's just like, you are standing still talking at me.
Yeah.
And I can watch anime like Fate Zero, where they literally had a character circle the room just so there was something visually happening while they were talking.
Well, I also understand some people's complaints about the anime style exposition because a lot of animes get very long-winded. And you also have stuff like, we're in the middle of a battle. I'm going to give you a 10-minute exposition on why I'm going to beat you up.
Yep. It's more like the pacing of it that bothers me rather than there's a lot of text. It's just like, they wait, they talk for a long-ass time, something very minor happens, they talk for a long-ass time, and then you go into an empty dungeon.
Oh, for the demo?
Yep.
The demo is basically the first chapter of the game. Yeah. It's the first chapter of the game before you even get to anything what the game is like. They did a very bad job with that demo.
Anyway. Yeah.
It wasn't a good demo.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the demo
I'm sure.
because I'm like, okay, the combat seems cool. Okay, they're going to have visual novel style exposition. What else does this game have? Oh, one town.
Oof. You're really selling me.
Yeah. It's not a game I'd recommend for the majority of people.
Yeah, because it's just, you have other choices. It's not necessarily bad, it's just not all that fantastic. But, hey, I've played games that aren't necessarily all that fantastic that I enjoyed. I'm probably one of the few people that will recommend Infinite Undiscovery on the 360. You should play that instead.
That.
You should play that instead.
If my 360 wasn't hooked up to my CRT and, you know, it cuts off the sides unless I go under...
For the love of God, would you hook that up to a CRT?
What, my 360?
Yeah.
To watch 90s wrestling.
Fair enough.
And old anime.
Also fair enough. If you use it for anything other than video games, I understand.
Yeah. But then I went to play this on it, and I'm like, well, I can barely read the text, even over component, and the sides of my screen are cut off. Unless I go into the service menu and, like, Which, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to unplug my TV every time I want to play the game. Because then I go to hook up like a PS1 or the NES or anything else, and
Yeah, do you have a HD TV you could use with an HDMI cable?
yes. No, I have to use it over a component.
That sucks.
My 360 is like one of the original models.
Hmm.
Let's see. It's the white one with the white disc tray.
Arcade model. That
Yeah,
explains it.
I'm surprised it hasn't red ring of death yet.
Yeah.
It actually did once when I was a teenager, but I had it stuck in the back of my car for like a week, and then took it out and tried to play it right away. It was like, nope, I'm not working.
Yeah, that'll do it. I know
And
this is a
I
question
let it sit for like,
Sorry, go ahead.
what was it? I let it sit for like, I don't know, a day or two, and then tried it again, and it's worked perfectly ever since. So, I don't know.
So it was just overheated.
No, it was too cold. I froze it. I let it sit in my car in the middle of winter.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Or you didn't say it. Either way, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a question that no one else will have any context for other than me, but I'm curious. The song in the demo, was that a Nanamizuki song, or did they just sound really similar?
Not sure.
I should probably ask
But
Google about that one, but it sounded like her stuff.
it sounded kind of just like the same stuff I heard in Symphogear, like that same style of music.
That's what I'm going for. That's Nanamizuki. That's why I know the point of reference.
I think it was, because it sounds almost exactly the same.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
Also, Infinite Undiscovery is like a $10 game, so
Oh yeah.
yeah.
More people should play that. It's
I also didn't
divisive.
know it was an action RPG.
It is. And you get up to like you can only have 4 players in your party at a time, but you have 4 parties you can manage to go do stuff elsewhere in the map, and you eventually get 18 party members to manage.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Which I somehow managed on one of the first RPGs I ever finished.
Well, I need to sit down and play some 360 RPGs because, let's see, I have about a dozen of them now, and I've played one,
Which one did you play?
Lost Odyssey.
Not surprised at all. It's probably the best
Lost
one on
Odyssey
there.
is... It's Final Fantasy 13. The actual Final Fantasy 13. Made by the actual creator of Final Fantasy.
You're saying it is the true successor, not that it is similar to 13.
Yes, it is the true successor to the original Final Fantasy series, which is now pretty much dead.
Yeah, which is kind of strange, because I've never really been able to get into any Final Fantasies, but I liked the first disc of that. I didn't dislike the next discs or anything, I just never got around to playing them.
What, Lost Odyssey?
Yeah.
If you ever do, install disc 4, or it will freeze.
I'm going to be playing it on Xbox One at this point, so it doesn't matter. It just
You have to
registers
install
that
it anyway.
it registers that I own it based on disc 1 and downloads it all.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Which is fine, and it'll also be smoother. It'll run better, just by their emulation.
But if you played Lost Odyssey on a 360, you're going to want to install the last disc, where you will not be able to finish the game otherwise. Because my copy had like a pristine, all the discs are in pristine condition. I had no problems for the first 3 discs. I hit the 4th disc, and it just froze and froze and froze and froze. So I looked it up, and it seems to be a common issue. I don't understand why it was a common issue, but pretty much everyone said install it and it'll work. I did that, and it worked.
Odd.
Yeah. I think it was basically there's like a error in the way they printed the disc. Is the most likely thing there.
Okay, either no one cares to talk about who did the music in Shining Resonance, or it's not Nanamizuki, because I'm getting nothing. Very much sounds like that style, though.
Well, I think it might be like the only people here that know what the heck we're even talking about are us.
Yep. Yeah, that side tangent's already gone on way longer than it should have.
Yeah. At least I played through most of my Wii U games when the Wii U was new and still an active console.
I don't know if I finished one game for that system, to be honest. Then again, I got near the end.
I'm just kind of sad because I don't think I'm ever going to buy another Wii U game.
That's probably a safe bet. Yeah, I don't
Because
think I haven't finished any.
let's see, because I basically have most of the Nintendo first-party games that are worthwhile, and what third-party games?
Pretty much.
Other than stuff like, Mighty Number 9 and Rodeo the Sky Soldier. That's about all you got.
Yeah,
And a couple other things. They ported the one Darksiders game, but it's like the worst version of it.
No, they ported both of them, but they're probably the worst versions of both.
Exactly. So, the Wii U was disappointing when it came to anything third-party.
It's also disappointing for convenience as a piece of hardware. It's not necessarily bad, it's just cumbersome.
Yeah. But it's also that weird, tablet play it off your TV, but only in your living room console.
Yep.
As in, I take it and walk, upstairs, and it doesn't work.
Yep, it's what they should have waited a year or two on and then made into the Switch.
That's basically what they did.
Yep.
Is redid it into the Switch. After they realized, hey, this thing's never going to sell any better, so let's just shit can it and come out with a new console.
Which is fine, because it's clunky.
What, the gamepad?
Oh, yeah.
I will say this. This has been... But it's actually comfortable to hold the gamepad.
It's comfortable. It's comfortable to hold, but regardless of which controller you are using, you need to have that tethered to you, because the game will eventually ask you to use it.
Yeah, so you pretty much are stuck using this stupid thing.
Yeah.
Which is not my... I like this thing, but most people hate it, so...
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I bought Breath of the Wild on Wii U. I've been thinking about buying it again on Switch just to not have to deal with the gamepad ever since.
Oh yeah, because you're pretty much... wait, you're not tethered to it with the Wii U, though.
You are, because you can... Well, if you're using the gamepad, you're just using the gamepad. But if you're even if you're using the Pro Controller, which I bought that because I hated that thing so much. And I started playing Breath of the Wild with it, and then I got to one of those freaking stupid rotation puzzles, and it says, pick up the gamepad, and it's like, well, screw me, why did I buy this other controller?
Pick up the gamepad, because we didn't put motion technology in this stupid thing.
Yeah, this additional $50 controller. Thanks for the purchase, jackass.
Mars says Zombie U is still the only game that the console got right. I disagree with that, but I've also never played Zombie U.
It's also on every other console now, just called Zombie.
That doesn't surprise me.
I think I actually got it for free on Xbox. So I could play it if I wanted to.
Then again, I'm not really into kill the zombie games anymore.
Yeah, a lot of them get pretty tired.
Yeah, especially when, almost everyone is making kill the zombie games.
There are some interesting ones that I would still like to play. I've got Dying Light, which zombies and parkour. Why the hell not? But
Mars, I can name some games that that were really good for the Wii U. Wind Waker HD was that's an excellent remake or remaster.
You're going to list ports, but I'm going to say if they have Mario in the title, they're probably good.
But yeah, Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD were pretty much some of the best things on the Wii U.
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of sad.
All the best games are getting ported to Switch, which is fine. But I think the only real major exclusive I have that hasn't been announced as a port yet is 3D World.
I don't think 3D World's gonna get a port.
I hope
I'd
it
be
does.
surprised.
Kind of bridge that gap, I guess.
I think it's one of those issues because there were a lot of segments in 3D World where you had to use the gamepad. So that would be kind of hard to... They'd have to be like, okay, you have to go get your Switch out of your dock and use it in handheld mode. To which lots of people would probably go, screw you, Nintendo.
I mean, they had a workaround even in Captain Toad. Well, Captain Toad came from that, so... Like, where you have to touch the platforms to get them to move.
Yeah.
They have it where you get, like, this cursor that you can move around when you hold a button down, and then you can move it over the thing. Which isn't
hold
ideal.
The button and use the stick.
Yeah, I've been playing in handheld mode for that reason, but still. And there's games on the Switch that you can only play in handheld mode now that I think about it. They're mostly multi-platform stuff from mobile, like, I have no idea how the hell you pronounce this title now that I think about it. It's a play on voice, but it's like Voice or something like that.
Voice? I was actually thinking about getting that.
Yeah, I didn't get it on Switch, even though I wanted to, because it's only handheld mode, so I might as well just play it on my phone.
Well, I was thinking about getting it for having a good rhythm game on the go. That way I can just... Actually, they did make it so that you can play it in docked mode.
Oh, cool.
With a controller.
It's kind of... but...
It's weird, and it doesn't make any sense. Because that game's pretty much just tap your screen constantly.
Yep. That game's hard, but it's good.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you like Japanese music. Well, not Japanese music, Asian music. And Mars is saying that Zombie U was the only game that used the gamepad in an interesting way. I actually don't kind of disagree with that, because the way that it was used in Twilight Princess and Wind Waker was, here's your map, here's your item selection screen, you can just keep doing your journey and just tap stuff on the gamepad.
Which, while convenient,
fantastic.
It's fantastic, it's just not interesting.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like you can... Isn't that basically what you do in Zombie, is you just look down to see your inventory? Like, you can just look through your backpack that way? I didn't play it, so I don't know if there's anything else, but that's what I remember.
Anyway, we all know the Wii U is a failed console.
Regardless of what it did right. It
Pretty
wasn't
much.
marketed well, it was a bad title. And there are people that still think, like, the Switch is the first console that Nintendo's put out since the Wii.
Yeah, trust me. I've been in game stores, and they constantly have people asking, will these Wii U games work on my Wii? What add-on do I have to buy to make them work on my Wii? And they're like, no, you have to buy a new console. What? That's stupid.
At least that's on the customer end. With Nintendo's naming structure, I had to, in a game store, to the owner, explain what the 3DS was. And that was several years after it came out.
It sounded like the owner of that game store wasn't on the ball.
Nope, they don't give a damn.
Yeah, they're basically just to make money at that point. I mean, heck, my local game store, he pretty much wants to make money, but he at least tries to keep up with everything, and you can tell the guy actually really likes games.
Yeah, no, none of the people that work at this place, or at least there was one guy who genuinely gave a shit, no longer works there.
That doesn't surprise me. When you're the only one that gives a shit with a whole bunch of people that don't care, you don't stay there long.
And they have this big, like, industrial strength resurfacing machine, and they don't know how to use the damn thing. And I know that because I've had games that should have worked, resurfaced, went home, they didn't work because they resurfaced too far.
Oh yeah.
Or like you can look at
on,
and it's like rounded. Okay, so it is looking down at the gamepad.
Mars
Wii U, but the real-time aspect is cool.
Yeah, but that's basically the exact same thing that Nintendo did with the Zelda ports.
Yeah, but it's an interesting way of doing it. It makes it interactive rather than just, convenience. It's actually less convenient, but it does add stress. So I do agree that's a cool implementation of that, even if it is similar.
Then you had stuff like the way they used it in Star Fox Zero or the Wonderful 101, which was just like, oh dear Lord, why? These segments suck.
Yeah.
Speaking of games I wanted to like, but did Wonderful 101 fits that category?
I still haven't tried it.
It's not that great. It's
still
interesting, but it's not that great.
There's a demo.
Oh yeah, there
Wonderful
is.
101.
Yep.
Only problem,
Although-
I'd have to turn on my Wii U for that.
Well, until they announce a port, you'd have to turn it on to play it anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the last time I turned on my Wii U is to play through Xenoblade Chronicles X. Excellent game. Once you know exactly what the heck you're doing, because if you don't, you're gonna get stuck, and it becomes miserable.
Okay, here's the thing with RPGs and you and strategy guides. I don't have anything against you using strategy guides in things. That's your choice. But to me, if you have to use a strategy guide for the game to make any sense, it's a bad game.
Well, you don't have to use it, but you're gonna get stuck if you don't.
Okay, then it's bad. Sorry. The game should make sense. It's not a freaking Nintendo game where you have to read the manual to get how to play the damn thing. It's a Wii U game.
Well, you can play through it without using a strategy guide or anything like that, but as I said, you will get stuck multiple times.
Yeah, I'm not
or you
saying
have to go do stupid fetch quest.
I'm not saying that game specifically is definitely bad because of that, but I'm just saying that that explanation's like, you have to use it because this. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, if that's built into the game, that you have to use the strategy guide in order to not suck, the game sucks.
It's not so much that you have to use the strategy guide, it's that if you don't really know what you're doing and you don't realize to go plant all the frontier nav probes and all the other little things you're supposed to do, you're going to have a really bad time because you're not going to have enough money, your characters won't level up fast enough, and all sorts of other bad design choices. Interesting game, interesting experiment. I don't like a lot of the things they did in that game. It's the black sheep of the Xenoblade franchise. That's how I look at it.
I think that's a lot of how people look at Xenoblade Chronicles too.
No, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an excellent game.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yes, Mars, it had the Simon's Quest syndrome. It's a shelf.
No, the fourth one I put together.
Nice.
I just got to put the feet on.
Yeah. Most of my game room is a mess. I haven't been cleaning much lately.
I can't judge.
Oh well.
Yeah, the only thing left is the display case.
Just as a random side note from last week, we were talking about movies for a while. And I realized a couple hours after, because I was trying to think of something I had watched recently, I realized several hours later that I had watched Suicide Squad the day before, and I could not remember that I had watched it.
Must have not left very much of an impression.
Nope, it is the first superhero movie that I have ever watched that completely left my brain less than 2 days later, that I was just like desperately thinking like, what the hell did I watch? I know I watched a movie. What was it? And I was like trying to find my Netflix history because I could not remember the title of the damn thing. I just thought that was funny. Wasn't even bad. It was just so mediocre that nothing stuck with me at all.
Let's see. I have been watching a couple of the new anime shows. Let's see.
Cells at Work you've been watching.
Cells at Work is actually really good.
Yeah, I heard
I would
interesting things about that one.
It's basically talking about the 37.2 trillion cells that make up a human body, and this is their day-to-day life.
Yeah, slice of life versions of your cells.
Cells, yes, yeah, and it's kind of amusing.
It's basically Osmosis Joe with waifus.
Not so much.
I know, I'm just razzing you.
The platelets are cute.
Yeah. I'll give it a go. There's
Let's
not that
see,
much
I
of
think-
it in this season.
I think the first episode, I can't remember what they got. Oh, yeah, I can't remember what happened in the first episode.
Glowing.
I think they got some sort of infection. The second episode, they had some sort of like a scrape wound or something like that. And the third episode, they were fighting influenza. So it's pretty interesting take on what happens inside the human body. And they got a lot of stuff pretty accurate as far as like names and stuff like that. Way more than you'd think they would.
At least they have some kind of accuracy in it. That's mildly surprising.
You will actually learn things about your body watching the show.
I'm going to hold back on all the jokes that could be made with that.
Yeah, there are a lot of jokes you can make on that one.
Yeah. But,
Mission accomplished.
nice. Shows.
Is that where the consoles are going?
Yeah. Nope. That's where most of the like magazines and storage and stuff like that. But yeah. Oh, I'll show you again.
Nice.
But it fits. It's got like 2 inches of clearance underneath these, which is just exactly as I had hoped that it would.
Very nice.
Someone planned well.
I drew that thing out like many, many, many times. But now I can get these like collector's editions and stuff finally out of their boxes and all the magazines and OXMs.
I will
and
say
Nintendo
that
powers. And
there is one thing I hate about collector's editions. They don't fit on your shelf properly.
No,
You can't put most of them in their original box packaging right next to the rest of the games, or it's like, oh, here's a Switch game, and then what the heck? You go from this tiny little case to a giant box.
Here's a great example. This triangle.
Yeah, where the heck are you gonna put that?
I mean, those are kind of fine because it's like this is a special display box. You're not supposed to put it with your other stuff. But
right.
you get ones that are just basically an outer cardboard box, like the Shantae Half Genie Hero Risky Beats edition. It's just the outer cardboard box, and it's taller than every PS4 game.
Yeah,
for no reason whatsoever.
that will drive OCD collectors mad.
Yeah, this is back to anime again, but I got to show you the worst case I have ever seen, just in terms of practicality issues, for an anime box that I got.
The statue's pretty cool, though. This one.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm distracting you for a second.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's a cool statue. But yeah, here's the Blu-ray box set for Black Lagoon. And this looks normal. Like, see if I can grab a Blu-ray case for comparison. Yeah, see, it's a little bit taller, so it's like, that's annoying, but that's fine. Then you try to find out where you open it. You would think it's this top flap because there's no openings on the sides. No, it comes out the bottom like a freaking VHS tape. But on top of that, this is regular Blu-ray height. They have this on there for no reason. And there's a flap that's glued on the inside. You cannot open it that way. It serves no purpose whatsoever other than to make it a VHS freaking case. This is the stupidest box set I ever bought. In terms of that, the worst ones I bought are like ones like the Seinfeld box set and Lost in Space, because those are just cardboard sleeves. But this is just stupid.
Well, I also find it amusing that a lot of the collector's editions or launch editions essentially break down to being, hey, look, I give you this nice little slip sleeve. Hey, look, a metal sleeve case. Then here's the original game.
That's a slipcase that has just the original thing in it?
Yes.
Why? Why not just do a steelbook at that point?
That was what I was thinking when I saw it, but I went, whatever.
Impractical.
Aren't some of the limited runs looking at doing it that way too? Where it's just, here's a metal shell to your standard.
I have
Metal
no idea.
shelf?
A metal
I think I
shelf
just
is
heard
standard.
metal shelf.
A
No,
metal sleeve. Maybe I did say shelf. Yeah, I got one thing on my mind right now.
Yeah, I wonder why
Yeah.
you couldn't mix that up.
But yeah, it's basically just like a metal sleeve to put your game into that has the standard edition. And I'm like, why? Why do they keep making these? And then there's like the Ys 8 Adventures Edition, which is just basically the regular version of the game, except
That's a little book.
here's a map. There's not even a book in here. It's just, here's a little map poster. Which, yeah, that's nice. Got Donna on one side. And then on the other, here's a map of the Isle of Seirin. Or however they pronounce it.
Something.
And then here's some collector's cards.
I mean, that's more than was in the regular day one edition. You get the soundtrack, you get a mini little manual-sized art book, and that's it.
I would have preferred the soundtrack. You don't even get the soundtrack on the Switch version.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Probably because it doesn't fit in the case.
Yeah, probably not. Transitional topic. Kind of half anime and half something else. Yoshi, have you seen the trailer for the Alita Battle Angel movie?
Nope.
Okay. Has anyone else seen it? What did you think of it?
It looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty faithful adaptation to a degree of the manga.
Yeah, I'm coming at it from an entirely uninformed perspective. So.
Which is understandable. Barely anyone's watched that now or read it because it's just the manga, and then there was this like 2-episode anime OVA that was a very truncated version of it, and it was just kind of okay. It has a cult following, so. But yeah, that movie looks pretty good. Other than
Detolf.
One of these glass deals.
I've been wanting to pick up some of those.
Well, start a timer.
Oh. Things I'll have to look forward to in like 5 years.
5 minutes go.
Yeah, things I'll be able to look forward to in like 5 years when I can afford to do something without owing the government thousands of dollars. Student loans are fun.
Yay. So anyone watch any of the other Comic-Con trailers like Aquaman or Shazam?
I watched them. I think I've watched them all. I keep going back to the Godzilla one.
I still haven't watched that one.
At least 4 or 5 times at this point.
I'm glad that people seem to be enjoying it. People seem to be watching that on a loop. But I still haven't gotten around to it. I think out of all the trailers I've watched...
I don't know if it's the juxtaposition of classical music that's playing over it. Or what. But
Yeah, I think someone edited it so that it was the Jurassic Park theme over the footage. For some
Like
reason.
the Jurassic World one, or the original Jurassic?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
I think someone made a joke about it, and then someone replied, just having edited that together. I think out of all the superhero trailers, I liked Shazam the most. Just because it looked fun.
It's big, the superhero movie, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Your phone's charged, and your phone's charged. And he's just doing the little electric zap, and then someone's phone blows up, and they're like, what the hell?
Oh, speaking of that's funny. I just had to plug in my phone on a charger.
Good timing.
Hey, at least I have a phone that's not a piece of crap now. That was like my one birthday present to myself was a new cell phone for like $300. Yeah, the rest of my summer hasn't been good. Also, hi, Kat.
Check and chat. Sorry.
Kat
I'm
says
like
hi.
staring.
Anyway, I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay.
It's empty.
Actually, we're not talking about a whole heck of a lot, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'll be right back.
Okay. Just us, Eric.
I was going to say, what happened? Everybody left.
I don't know. Everyone got bored of my shelves.
We got to
Did you
get this
see 'em?
convo on to C3.
Did you catch them when I showed them off?
No, I heard you talking about that. They were the perfect height, though. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like 3 inches clearance on the cart side, and maybe an inch on this side.
Nice. And that's where they're going to be. They're going to stick out like that a little bit.
Yep. So
that's
this gives
perfect
me.
because then they have a shelf.
Yep. So I can put things like I can accent piece. I'm sure Discart would go nuts right about now and just be like, you can put this here. You can put all these things. Because I still have
awesome.
I still have all this. I still have stuff up here that needs to just find a place, and some of that's going to go in this display case. The display case is going to go right here. That's kind of the first thing that you hit when you come in the door. Is that glass display case? Yeah.
Okay.
Lighting in this room needs major improvement. That'll be probably the next. I don't know if it'll be the next. Finishing the closet's going to be the next.
You still keeping that under wraps?
Kinda.
Kind of a secret.
Yeah, somewhat. I can give it. Who's here? Who's in the chat?
No. Don't give it away. No, keep it as. I just wasn't sure if you'd reveal it yet.
No, I haven't yet.
No, do your reveal that you want to do.
Pay no attention to the stuff behind the curtain.
Well, yeah. That's not false. There is a curtain.
Okay.
I just took out the sliding doors.
What it is.
Okay. It's probably going to fall flat.
No, it'll be fine.
I will say though, I went with the high gloss white on these,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. Like it's all shiny and like slick. Really, really happy I picked that for these. The 1x4 that I got. So this is gonna go under the mounted TV. So that'll go over here underneath, and so that'll have all the HDMI consoles through a switcher. So that's where that is going to go. But yeah, you'll walk in, and that case will be right here lit up.
Wow,
that's the plan.
So did you buy? So you bought 3 items: a 2x4, a 2x4, and a 1x4.
I have two 2x4s, a 2x2, a 1x4, and a DTOL, which is what I'm
DTOL,
looking
okay.
at.
And how
DTOL,
much have you put
which is
together so far?
4 of the 5. Just this is left.
Okay.
I got home and I got started. I had a little helper who may have slowed me down a little bit, but I think he was happy to be involved. So I'm not gonna.
Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
Hey, he was doing all right. I mean, like tapping in dowels and stuff. There's not really much harm he can do. So I might as well let him feel a little bit of success.
Well, my dad let me do stuff like that when I was a kid. So
I will say, saying there's not that much damage you can do sounds like a challenge to the fates.
Well, they're done now, so.
Man. I sit here and look at strategy guides I have, and I'm like, man, I bought that the day it came out. And I still haven't played that game.
Did you buy it the day
those
it
are
came
the
out
worst.
and get the 20% off or something?
No, this was like, how do I put it? You know the day Twilight Princess HD came out on the Wii? Or the Wii U? I walked into a GameStop on that day, saw it, went, oh my god, I gotta have that. Here's my $60.
Yeah.
And I've yet to touch it.
I have played a little bit of it. I didn't get it right away, though.
I literally bought it like, well, it was probably within a week of when it came out, and I was like, you have this? Take my money. Like, crap. And I went, why did I buy this?
I did that with Skies of Arcadia and Grandia 2 on the Dreamcast.
At least those are good games.
Yeah, I walked into it was an EB Games or a GameStop, and I said, how much are those? And they said, they're 50 each. And I said, I'll take both.
And you're
And the lady next to me gave me a little sideways glance.
like, why?
Yeah. Haven't played them.
You haven't played either of those?
No, sir.
You should play Skies of Arcadia.
I started Skies many years ago, and then we moved, and I never picked it back up. So if I ever do pick it up, I'll have to start over.
Yeah.
And then I played Grandia 1, so I could get into Grandia 2. I know they're not, I got to play them in release order, but
It's okay. I have that same hang up.
so I'm ready to play Grandia 2. I just never have.
Let's see. I bought Grandia 2, Grandia 3, and Grandia Extreme for the PS2.
Yep.
And I had those for years before I bought Grandia 1. And then when I bought Grandia 1, I basically played it right away.
Yeah, okay.
So,
good.
And I still haven't touched 2, 3, or Extreme yet.
Yeah.
Try buying the Yakuza games on PS4. 0, 1, 6.
Yeah.
What?
I'm waiting for 2.
Yeah, because they released 0 when it was new-ish. And then they did the ports of 1, and the port of 2 is coming out next month. But they also, in that time, released 6.
6, so yeah.
Which was the
one series that threw me for a loop when I was younger was Resident Evil. Because I got into that in the GameCube era. And it's you can play... It's like, okay, so I want to play them in chronological order, but do I start with 0? Do you start with the original one? What do you do? I ended up playing through 0 first. I think I played through 0, the first game, 2, my copy of 3 locked up, and I think I played 4, and I don't think I've played many of the other ones. I kind of gave up on Resident Evil.
Well, it sounds like you did a pretty good job on the chronological order there for a while.
Yeah.
And 2 and 3 are probably a little bit more expensive on GameCube. If you still have those.
I have 2 for GameCube because I bought it off of somebody else. And it was like $20. It was some kid I knew in high school. I think he was trying to go buy something else with the money and just wanted to sell the game.
Complete copy is $45 right now.
Yay, I'm pretty sure my copy is complete.
So you could get rid of that if you wanted to.
Yeah, but I actually like Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I know, but you can get it elsewhere for cheaper. Probably.
And it's the same friggin' version.
Yeah, it is. It's like you
They
get a
literally
PS1
just
copy.
ported the PlayStation 1 game to the GameCube.
Yep, so you could get that version, or you could just get it digitally on PS3. I know you can do that with your no Blu-ray drive.
But that means I have to find my no Blu-ray drive PS3. I don't even know where it is.
I'm saying is you have options.
Well, I might have to find my no Blu-ray drive PS3 anyway, because I want to play through the Suikoden series sometime soon. However you pronounce that. I suck at these pronunciations.
I want to say
I have
Suikoden,
Suikoden 1. I refuse to pay $120 for the second game, because, let's face it, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Agreed.
There's a lot of RPGs that are currently in the holy crap, why is this so expensive? It's not worth this much money. Suikoden. Okay, Suikoden. Is that better?
As long as you do the extended version.
Suikoden.
No. I always just say Suikoden, but who knows?
I don't care. Because I have Suikoden 1. I have 3 and 4. I've been basically waiting to find the second game and the fifth game for cheap, and I'm pretty sure that's never going to happen.
Yeah, nope.
Really, kitty?
Yeah, I have the third and fourth. I have 1 through 4. I have the digital versions of 1 and 2. And then I have 3 and 4 on PS2. I have really no interest in playing them, honestly. I got the PS2. No, I got the original first 2 because they were super cheap, and I'll play them eventually.
Well, I'm pretty sure my brother already has Suikoden 2 on the PS3. And I basically have his account on my PS3 because he's like, here, have all these digital games. Okay.
That'll do.
I never played my PS3. But then again, for the longest time, I didn't have a good controller for it. Until I found a 6-axis controller for like $5. Because I'm too cheap to pay $50 for an actual one. And those rock candy wireless controllers are garbage.
Yep. I think it's more fair to say that you are, like everyone else, not wanting to spend that much on a controller. At all, regardless of which console it's for.
Yeah, I'm kind of... the reason I haven't bought any more Switch controllers is you can literally hook up the Wii U GameCube controller adapter to it and use GameCube controllers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, funnily enough, most of my friends prefer for something like Mario Kart 8.
Kind of takes away the portable aspect, but...
It also comes with 2 controllers. But most people I hand these controllers to go, this is stupid, these are too small. And I'm like, really? But then again, I can understand where they're coming from, because I don't know what Nintendo was thinking with some of the ergonomical design of the Switch.
Yeah, you can get one of those 8-bit dual controllers.
Yeah. There's a bunch of options and stuff you can do for the Switch. I know you can get some dongle that lets you, that lets you use like PS3, PS4, and like Xbox controllers on it.
Yeah, just an adapter.
Is that what? Does it plug in the USB port or the USB-C port?
I'm sure that's what it does. But if you want something that you can just throw in your backpack or something that's just tiny, I would recommend this one, the NES style one, because it's really small, but it's really good too. Like, you're not going to use the analog sticks much because they're kind of Vita sized.
Well, that's the same as the Switch analog sticks. They're still basically handheld sized.
Oh no, those are way larger.
Really?
Yeah, like this is this one, and you can see the tiny. Like I'll even compare it to this one.
Oh yeah.
But this is way smaller to carry around, just a little thinner and everything.
See,
And
from an
it's a really good
engineering and a
controller, but-
production standpoint, that makes zero sense to me to make the sticks on them different. Why
Why?
would you make the sticks on that controller different than the one on the Super Nintendo controller? That's
Because
just
this is
extra molds and crap you have to make.
well, they made this one first. For one, it doesn't have the rumble like this one does, and the dedicated switch buttons for like screenshot and home. It's an older controller, but it's mostly designed for like being compact for mobile use.
That's mostly what they've made these things for anyway, is mobile
Yeah.
use.
It's still a really
Which
good
I'm-
controller if you wanted it for that purpose, though.
I've also noticed you can get a heck of a lot of games on your phone these days.
You don't say.
Like most of the old Square RPGs are on the cell phone.
For way more
They're
than people want to
relatively
spend
cheap.
on a phone.
What?
Like 20
Oh yeah.
bucks. 15,
Yeah,
20 bucks.
there's a lot. Some of them are like $4 or $5 though,
Yeah.
which okay. And it's also a lot of them. It's cheaper to get them there than some other places.
Yeah.
Like the SNES version of Chrono Trigger is ridiculously priced.
I've got freaking Knights of the Old Republic on my phone. It's kind of stupid.
That's weird.
It is.
Also, speaking of Chrono Trigger, the PlayStation 1 version of that game is nowhere near as bad as people say it is.
Were we speaking of Chrono Trigger?
Briefly.
Okay.
I brought it up
guess
briefly.
I missed that.
Yeah. My opinion of that game has changed recently.
I noticed. You have made the JRPG section of the Discord the most active section for the last few days.
Go me. Because, let's see. I know, like, a lot of the problems people complain about with the PS1 version of Chrono Trigger, if you play it on a PS1, you're going to have a very bad time unless you have the patience of a saint. Which is something I noticed.
Yeah,
Because
but you
I
put it
tried
on,
playing it on my PS1.
yeah, but then you did PS2 with the fast read
Yep.
speed.
And it was just like, okay, this is acceptable.
Yeah,
This is
mildly
like,
inconvenient but playable.
it's not even mildly inconvenient. It's like 2 seconds or something and you go to a menu. It's like 1 or 2 seconds and the battle starts. And instead of, okay, wait 5 seconds, the music starts. Wait 5 seconds, they draw their sword. Wait 5 seconds and the battle starts. And you're like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, try the game over loading times in the new Doom. Actually, you have played that. What did you think of those?
The game overloading times,
Yeah, like when you
it's not
die.
horrible.
Yeah, they're really bad.
It's not great, but it wasn't horrible to me.
It took like upwards of a minute to reload the level for me on PS4.
I'm playing on the Switch version. It doesn't take anywhere near that long.
Damn you, worse hardware.
It's like, okay, but then again, the Switch version doesn't have to load it off of a mechanical hard drive.
There is that.
However, you're also only getting 30 FPS and a scalable resolution that at some points goes down to like 144p.
Yeah. Still, though.
Literally. The game will turn itself super blurry in certain very high action segments.
Potato
But you
mode.
won't notice because you're in a super high action segment.
Yeah. Potato mode, engage.
Pretty much. Which, the way I look at it is if Panic Button can get Doom 2016 and Wolfenstein 2 to run on the Switch and make them run pretty much flawlessly, there's no excuse for other developers to not have their games work. Especially something like WWE 2K18.
Yeah, that was a bad example. But I haven't really seen it, but I've heard horror stories about it. But
It's a slideshow. I looked up YouTube videos on it because I'm like, hey, cool, a WWE game on the Switch. And then everyone was like, no, why? And apparently they patched it like a dozen times, and it's no better. And I'm just sitting here going, really? You can't develop a game, a wrestling game for the Switch that works because you have to polygon all of the crowd.
Huh.
I think that's their problem, is they're trying to use polygons for the entire crowd.
Yeah, that might do it.
And I'm just like, just change the entire crowd to textures and none of the wrestling fans will care.
Yep. Make them stick figures. No one will give a damn. That's not the point.
Exactly. We're not playing these games for super realistic crowds. We're playing them because we want to watch our favorite wrestlers beat the crap out of each other in video game form. And play as our favorite wrestlers in video game form.
Panic Button's
and
real
not play a slideshow.
I know, like, the other two are very impressive, but Panic Button's real test is going to be Warframe, because that's a constantly online game, and even on the more powerful hardware, it has dips constantly. Not like game-breaking dips, but noticeable.
Yeah.
So getting that to run smoothly on the Switch, I do not envy that position at all.
I think Panic Button probably has some really great programmers, though.
Yeah, I think
that's basically all it comes down to, is having good programmers that are willing to work on the game until it runs properly.
And having the time.
All the graphical assets are there.
Yeah, having the time and budgeting to do that so you're not rushed also helps.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the major reasons that wrestling game was very good.
I also think that Bethesda is also like, we will not release crappy games that run crappy anymore. We do not want to release broken, buggy games. We do not want a repeat of Skyrim on the, 360 and PS3?
Just the PS3.
Where the dragons would fly backwards.
I don't know about the dragons flying backwards on any of the other versions, but the major problem on PS3 was, like, the more you played, the larger your save file got, and the worse the frame rate would go.
That's amusing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think they want to have that fiasco again.
Nope, especially since they are porting Skyrim again to the Switch.
It's funny, I had a friend that bought Skyrim again on the Switch. I think he played it before on, like, the 360 or something, and he's like, I don't know why I bought this again. I don't like it anymore. And I'm like, you already played through it and beat it. Of course you're going to be bored replaying it.
Yep.
It's got all the, doesn't it have all the DLC built in?
Yep.
More than likely.
It does.
More than likely. I wouldn't know. I'm not an Elder Scrolls fan. I played Morrowind for a couple hours and thought it was, like, boring and didn't understand the appeal, and never touched an Elder Scrolls game since. So.
From what you've said on the Discord, it just sounds like you're not really into their style of game in general.
I don't like first-person Western RPGs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was kind of annoyed at Xenoblade Chronicles X because it was basically a JRPG and a Western RPG skin. And it was really weird because of that.
Yeah.
I think they took a lot of weird aspects from Western RPGs and tried to implement them. And it just didn't come off right. But I can't give Monolith Soft crap. They tried something different that they don't usually do. Yeah. Although they did try something different on Xenosaga 2, and I will give that game crap because the battle system is horrendous.
Which game?
Xenosaga Episode 2.
Oh, okay. That's the one I have.
The story in that game is absolutely fantastic. Of course, you have to play the first game to really understand what the heck's going on. But the first thing you're going to realize going from the first game to the second game is, why did they change all the character models? Why did they change voice actors? Why? Why did they change the battle system?
The first and third one of those make the least sense, because, like, wouldn't you want to just continue on using the same assets to make it cheaper?
I don't know. It's Monolith Soft. They like doing weird things.
Sounds like it.
and they constantly change their games.
You reminded me that, speaking of episodic RPGs, sort of, Dot Hack GU on the PS4, the collection of all the games. I kind of want to pick that up. So I'm going to see if it's on sale or anything right now. I played through the
series. I think the Dot Hack series is something I was interested in, but then I started looking at the price tags of all the games and trying to find any of them. And it's just like, nope, not falling down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, they're expensive. But now you can get at least the GU titles. They didn't do it for the original ones. But you can get those as last recode for, it looks like $40 here, so probably 30 US or less. And they did it's the 3 games or the 3 parts of a game that they released separately, and then a new level or something.
I don't know.
But I would recommend that to you if you were interested, but it's on PS4, so you're kind of SOL, unfortunately.
If it's on PC, I could probably get it. But I have this powerful PC, but I don't use it for much, if anything.
Yeah, I don't have a powerful computer at all, and I wouldn't. Even if I had a powerful computer, I don't think I'd play much on it, which is why I haven't built a PC.
Let's see. I think there's been a couple of games I've been tempted to get. I know the Little Witch Academia came out with a game. I was interested in that.
Did that get a Western release?
Actually, yeah. It did get a Western release. And it's supposedly pretty good. So I might buy that eventually.
Physical release?
I don't know about physical release. I know it came out on PS4 and Steam.
Still need to watch that show, but
it's a good show. Of course, it's also kind of confusing because the 2 movies don't really match up with the show at all.
Yeah, because they're
kind of like...
It's different adaptations. Like, you have the movies, and then there's a TV version of that. Right?
Yeah. Well, the TV version seems to be it's just a TV version of how... let's see. She basically, how she started out at the academy and, all that stuff. And then the movies just seem to be okay, she's already at the academy, and, here's a movie. The first film is, 20 minutes, so it's like watching an episode of anime. That's really fast-paced because they tried to cram a lot of stuff into 20 minutes, but it was also, I think, Trigger's first animation, so that makes sense.
Yeah, like a small OVA.
Yeah, basically. And the actual full-length movie they did of it was fantastic as well.
It's a digital-only release, apparently. Here, at least.
For what?
For the game we were just discussing.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That wouldn't make much sense to release physical, because I'm pretty sure only a small section of anime fans are going to buy that anyway. Then again, I'm pretty sure the Sword Art Online games got physical releases, but I'm pretty sure that has a bigger fan base.
Yeah,
and I think part of Little Witch Academia's problem is the only way you can watch it legally in the US is on Netflix.
Yeah, which is really accessible for most people, so that's not really an issue.
Yeah, but still, not accessible to me.
Why? Just because you don't have Netflix, or?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I don't want to buy another video streaming service.
Fair.
For the majority of anime shows, I can already watch on, Hulu or Crunchyroll.
Yeah. I'm just going to mute Musty again because of the clacking of the glass on the shelf.
Oh, that's something else I noticed is most of the shows on Hulu are also on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But for some reason, I went to look at the original Tenchi Muyo. What is it? Tenchi Muyo?
Muyo.
Yeah, that. I went to look that up, the original OVAs. They don't have the original OVAs. They don't have the original series. You can go watch Tenchi Universe. You can watch Tenchi in Tokyo. You can watch a couple other things. But not the original series. They have the second half.
Sounds like the best option is to just not watch Tenchi anything. Anyway, hey Ryan.
What up?
Not much.
I'm here to break up all that RPG anime talk. It's over. We're done.
Yeah, now all N64 all the time.
Perfect. This is what I'm here for. The goods here.
So what have you been up to?
Yeah, there's wonderful games like Jet Force Gemini,
That's a fun one.
Mischief Makers.
Did anyone ever comment that Yoshi looks like a real pretty boy without that beard?
You did in the chat.
Yep. So make sure it's brought to everyone's attention. We got a real pretty boy on our hands here.
What am I supposed to do? Dress up like Shawn Michaels?
Sure. There you go. There you go. Get the sequins pants and everything. There you go. Now I like where you're going with this.
What? Gotta have pants with like all the mirrors and hearts on them, and start dancing.
You'll start sliding in on a pole, or not a pole, like a zip line into the room here.
Better be careful.
Yep. Gotta sit up nicely here.
Don't fall off.
And then we got Bob Vila, Musty Hobbit here.
That's right.
Making,
I'm almost done.
making a room.
Musty the Builder.
Yeah.
See the builder.
Musty's quest to build shelves.
We gotta get that resurgent on Shelfcast one of these days. Anyways, we got to.
There is a demand.
Yep. I think the people want it.
People like
people-
shelves.
The people
yeah.
on these hangouts generally seem to want it.
Mm-hmm. But I know Paul. I thought he said he recorded another episode of Leftover Bits, but I don't know if it ever
There was
aired.
another shelf cast too, but he didn't say who was the guest.
Well, it's no longer. I think if you Google Leftover Bits, the original link is down where they normally would post it, and I think he said he posted it somewhere else, but I couldn't find it. A question for Paul if he was here today.
Careful, you're gonna summon him.
Well, Paul, it's appeared.
The summoning. Hey,
3 times.
Hey, all I had to
whatever
do
you
was
do.
Don't
Don't summon a love.
shining resonance, and Yoshi showed up.
Hey, whatever you do, don't summon a level 150 Demon Lord.
That's oddly specific.
What
She's
shelves are
wearing a
those
ring
Musty
that like
glass? Did you answer that question, Musty?
What's that?
There's a question for you in the chat saying, "What shelves are those, Musty, with the glass?"
The DETOLF. DETOLF. It's
There you
the
go.
display case.
There you go, Mrs. Q. Is this for your statues?
Yeah, this will be kind of like the entryway or entry to the room thing. So this will have like the Master Chief helmet and the Final Fantasy figures and some of that stuff.
I bought one of those like 2 years ago, and I still have yet to assemble it.
Well,
I bought it for specifically the amiibos, but I'm still like lazy to assemble it and too worried to take them out of their boxes.
I want to get one of those for Transformers. I'll probably need more than one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an amiibo that I haven't taken out of its box.
I have a single amiibo, and it's still in its box.
I've debated selling all the amiibos that I have boxed right now because I still probably can get something for them.
You probably should do that before the amiibo craze completely dies.
You sure it's not going to come
Because
back?
What's up, Musty?
You sure there won't be a rebirth in Smash when Smash comes?
Well, they're only releasing the 3 new characters, so...
also, I got amiibos for free from a Nintendo rep
Nice.
I've debated
at
selling it
MagFest.
for the fact that, like, there's cards always made now of them, if anything, and... I mean, I like the ones... I guess there's a couple I really would like to keep, like the Bayonetta ones, because, just oddball. Like, when are you ever going to find, like, figures of characters like some of them, like Palutena? You're not going to find too many characters. Or
Yeah, it's not just another
merch of it, yeah.
I wouldn't mind a Bayonetta figure, but honestly, if I had the money, I'd probably have an entire showcase of like anime figures. and video game figures, but I have better things to spend money on.
Like action figures.
No.
Oh.
Hug pillows.
Those anime pillows? Those anime body pillows?
Well, you can buy a body pillow from Walmart for like $8 now, you know?
Yeah, but you can go to Amazon and get all your favorite anime characters on a pillow, a body pillow.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And,
You
you know,
could probably get a Bayonetta one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking.
and it would be lewd. Very, very lewd. Because what's
the
a
idea?
hug pillow if it's not lewd? Yeah, until your friends come over and go, what the hell is that thing? And then you get made fun of for like...
You just repeat the line from Dumb and Dumber when the cop asks, Harry, what's in the beer bottle? You say, that is nothing, sir. Yep, that's right, nothing.
Wait, you mean the beer bottle filled with piss?
Yes, that scene.
That the cop drank?
Yep, that's the one. Tic Tac, sir.
It's funny because I haven't seen that since I was like a kid.
Pass that here, you little pumpkin pie haircutted freak. Come on. Tic Tac, sir. Chris gets it.
The hell out of here. I guess that is one way to get a cop to like leave you alone. Although, knowing most of the cops in this area, if you gave them a bottle filled with pee and they drank it, you could be hauled off to jail.
I know I guess they said originally if Jeff Daniels didn't accept the role of Harry, that guy who plays the cop, who's also in Half Baked and There's Something About Mary, I believe.
Harlan Williams?
Yeah, he was going to play Harry originally because they didn't think Jeff Daniels was going to do it. Because at the time, Jeff Daniels only did serious roles. He never did a comedy. And nobody wanted to play second fiddle to Jim Carrey in a comedy because, you get buried because he was such a name for an actor at the time.
Apparently there's a correction. There was Harlan Williams.
Yep.
I think he said Robin Williams. Anyway, doesn't matter. Thanks for the correction,
Mrs.
Chris.
Q-Dog. You must free the amiibos from their plastic. Free them from their plastic prisons.
No. I like their little homes.
I have freed all of mine from their plastic prisons.
And that's why I debated. It's like, I'm probably almost never going to release these guys, as much as I like them. But I think I can still get pretty good value for selling them right now if I would. So
You can't even use them.
But they're fun to look at. And I missed out on Wolf, and that's kind of it's kind of like I'm debating for it because I know it'll pick them up on the day of launch, but I've missed out on he sold out I think on Amazon and Best Buy at the moment, so it's kind of like the other two are available, Ridley and Amiibo Girl, but that's why I started debating it. Do I want to get the last three, or do I want to just say F it and?
There's a couple I wouldn't mind having, like Bayonetta.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have Bayonetta, but other than that, I don't care anymore. I just don't. I got almost all the ones I give a damn about.
Okay, odd update on the Bumblebee movie. Apparently the Decepticon that is clearly Starscream in the trailer is going to be Blitzwing? That doesn't make sense at all. That looks nothing like Blitzwing. Not that the Transformers in any of those movies have looked like any of their G1 counterparts previously, but that clearly looked like G1 Starscream. And it's Blitzwing. Reasons. Anyway, carry on.
Is that news out of Comic-Con?
Yeah, apparently Travis Knight said that at a panel. That it was Blitzwing. Just when you thought things were going to start making sense in those movies. Or at least I made the mistake of thinking that was possible.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of those movies, so I couldn't tell you.
You made the right choice. They're all crap.
There's a reason I avoid the majority of comic book movies.
They're
I
not
wouldn't touch them with a 20-meter barge pole. Still wouldn't touch it with a 20-meter barge pole.
Well, you would be correct in the case of the first 5 Transformers movies because they are hot garbage. But I've seen all of them because I'm a glutton for punishment. I think I've paid to see exactly one of them, though, in my defense.
Well, I paid to see the Star Wars movies, the new ones.
That was a good decision.
Other than Solo.
I mean, Solo was fine. It was fun.
But I basically enjoyed what I watched, but I wasn't going into it super critical, old school Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, lasers and space battles. Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of all you really should have expected out of Solo. Is it is going to be a fun viewing. You're not going to take a whole heck of a lot out of it, but it'll be a fun time.
Well, I meant from like all of the new ones. Is I really just wanted to see like space battles and laser sword fights. You know, that's all I care about.
Generally, what you want out of Star
Lasers
Wars.
attached to their heads.
Pretty much. Okay, I didn't go into it with like the super critical eye that most of the people I know did. I have a friend that like don't even bring up any of the new Star Wars movies. You'll hear for like half an hour how they're stupid, and if you like them, they're stupid, and how shit they are. I've pretty much learned don't bring up any modern movies with him because he'll shit on them.
And what would happen if he brought those movies up to you?
I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was decent. And then I'm like, really? How?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not super critical in things.
Yeah. These are movies about space wizards.
With laser
Pretty
swords.
much.
Yes.
Space wizards with laser swords.
There is more complexity. There just doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
That is the baseline enjoyment you are going to get. Laser fights, space battles, have a good time. Who gives a shit?
I don't care about the stupid cheesy plot points.
I mean, me.
And the fact that they
$300 that are right next to me. But still, you don't have to get that far into it.
Oh yeah, and most of that has been like, what's the word for it? Discarded by Disney.
Oh yeah.
Disney's like, oh yeah, none of that exists.
Well, in its defense, there's a lot of stupid crap that happened in those old books. That was the best decision they made, other than buying Star Wars and making new movies. That is the next down in good decisions. Just going,
well,
all that stuff that came out, start from fresh, because none of that made sense.
Well, a lot of the old hardcore Star Wars fans were pissed off about it, but
oh yeah, because they're heavily invested and they read it over time. They didn't see the inconsistencies building up.
Well, that and they're pretty much not happy with the Disneyfication of Star Wars. And I'm like, really? What did you expect? They're going to turn them into kids' movies.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Star Wars.
They're not kids. They're not kids' movies. They're movies made for everybody. Not just one specific group. It's made for everybody. So
they're all ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that still means that they are appropriate for children. That is the idea. They are appropriate for everybody, but that means they're appropriate for children.
Yeah.
And I think George Lucas had that original idea too. It's just people were kids at the time when they saw the original Star Wars movies.
Yeah. It's freaking Flash Gordon. What do you want?
Well, that and Muppets. So, you know.
Flash Gordon, Muppets, and
laser swords.
And Japanese samurai movies.
Yeah. Did you see that they kind of made some changes to The Last Jedi via the comic books, Fitnet?
I heard that there are like additional pieces of dialogue, but I haven't read any of them yet.
In slight retcons, it's very slight. I saw I read the article about it, so it's basically they made slight changes and like they kind of address. You know, like they make points. I think that explains a little bit more of the. You lost your camera though. There you go. It's back. But no, there's little things explaining a little bit more of Princess Leia with her, abilities in space. They kind of explain that a little bit more. They give a little bit more, I guess they do a little bit more things to kind of clean up people's complaints in the books. And since they're ran by Disney, they're considered canon, or owned by the new. So
all the novelizations and comic book adaptations are considered canon until they aren't. Like, if they change something that was in one of those, they're going to default to the movie because those are adaptations of the films. Like, they had in the Force Awakens novelization, they had Rey and Poe meet for the first time. And then they met again for the first time in the movie, in Last Jedi, because that matters more.
And I guess they did this before, too, with Revenge of the Sith, too, with they changed some things, too, with Vader's long no is no longer there. It's just a straight up no with an exclamation mark or something. So
I mean, it's not so much changes. Yes, I do. It's not. Are you surprised that I have that?
Oh, I was just curious. I know you said you had like 500 books. I was just curious if you're missing that 300. One.
I was not missing that one, but I am missing. I've got one of the other books. They made kind of a secondary book trilogy out of that because everyone really liked the Revenge of the Sith adaptation. So they had a book that was kind of before it and kind of after it. And it kind of formed its own little episode 3 trilogy. I've got that adaptation, and I've got the book after it, I think. I still need the Labyrinth of Evil, though. I'm a nerd.
I think I tried to read some of those books as a kid when I rented them from the library.
Same.
I didn't make it very far.
Same.
It depends on the book, because a lot of them are crap, just to be honest.
It's basically what probably fan fiction, would you say? Would you someone going to be rewriting?
I'm trying to think. There was
Revenge or The Last Jedi. Probably what people who would
Jedi Apprentice. That series was actually really good.
The Scholastic books.
Yeah, the one where you were basically following I think it was following Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn way, way, way before the actual first movie.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of smaller books, kind of like Animorphs and Goosebumps, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about those actually, but I have very few of the young reader books in comparison to how many of I have of the adult.
Well,
readers.
I read a ton of books when I was a teenager, so that makes sense. I don't read that many books now as an adult. Not surprising when most of the reading I do happens to be about mathematical equations and how these electronic circuits work.
And RPG strategy guides.
Yeah. After you spend, 2-3 hours a day, 5 days a week reading textbooks, you don't really want to read novels anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. You wouldn't want to read a damn thing after that.
Pretty much. It's like, once I get done reading what I have to for my classes, I'm like, okay, no more reading for the day. Let's play an RPG. Oh, wait, I'm still reading.
Yeah, I've read a lot of Star Wars books that I do really enjoy, a lot of the newer ones. But some of the older ones I've read, holy crap, they're bad. I like the Thrawn trilogy to a degree. They're really good books, but there's some inconsistencies and stupid ideas, and they're the term Dark Jedi. Just use Sith. Then again, that was a different definition of the term at the time, apparently, behind the scenes. But there was these lizards that had this force field that cut off all force ability within the... It was dumb.
Field?
Yeah. Good books otherwise, but some silly ideas. Like a clone of Luke. That the clones, you could tell they're clones, because they add an extra letter to their name, and they mispronounce them, so it's Luke. The clone says his name is Luke. He adds an extra U. I'm not joking.
Nice.
That's what they deleted.
Unimaginative.
That's what they deleted from the canon. Thank you. And but those were good, aside from those minor gripes. But Courtship of Princess Leia is hot garbage.
Let me put it this way. When I first got into Star Wars, I was a little kid. I was a kid when the prequels came out. I liked the prequels as a kid. because I was a kid. So
I've said this before.
I
I've
didn't
tried to tell
have-
myself I like them.
I told myself I hated them for years because everyone else did, and then I gave them a chance years later, and I ended up enjoying them again.
I enjoyed them for what they were. Are they great movies? No.
No, but
No.
they're fun. For the most part.
Most
There
of the
are
people,
problems, but for the most
the
part,
way
they're
I
enjoyable.
think that like a lot of the people that grew up with something and then they look at it now, they're like, oh, they're ruining it. No, you've just grown past what they're aiming at.
Or you can see the actual faults easier.
Yeah.
Which there are faults. I'm not going to make up excuses for those movies. They were poorly directed.
There's faults in just about every single piece of media.
This is true. But people
Nintendo's
really
perfect.
overreacted to them. Sorry, go ahead, Musty.
What was that, Misty?
I said Nintendo is perfect.
That's right.
Yeah, about that. No. And I've been a hardcore Nintendo fan for quite a long time, and I will tell you, no, they're not perfect. They do a lot of dumb stuff.
Yoshi missing the joke again.
I always miss jokes.
I like jokes.
The irony
You
is,
should be used to
that's
this.
the joke, that you miss jokes.
You should be used to this by now.
I am. I try to play off of it, like I do right now, and then you ruin it again.
You ruined it.
What am I supposed to do? Not ruin it?
Try getting the joke.
There was a joke?
Nothing goes over my head. I'm too fast, I would catch it.
I'm so slow. I'm invisible.
It's okay. I'll just bring up my shirt.
Ugh.
What part of these electronic circuits don't you understand? To which the general response I get is, I don't understand a bit of it. And I'm like, I'm not surprised.
Thank you for going on to follow up explaining all my jokes to explaining the joke on your shirt that you bought.
Well, if I ever end up teaching at a community college, I will literally wear this shirt on the day where I go to teach this. If I was a teacher, I would wear tons of funny shirts.
Is that like a Dennis Miller joke?
A what?
A Dennis Miller joke?
What, where you show up in a shirt that's like, what part of this concept don't you understand?
That's,
As I'm teaching it to you?
It's more of a Simpsons reference about like how it's a joke that only a very small portion of people would find funny.
Yes, most of my jokes are like that.
You have jokes?
I have electronics jokes.
Okay, that's why I missed them.
Boy, that sounds hilarious. Hilarious.
You know, there are 1-0 type of people in this world. Which one are you?
Okay, we have to say goodbye to Yoshi now.
Where's that cricket noise when we need it?
Yeah. Damn you, Google removing these great sound effects.
I don't know. I want to get that on a shirt still. Because then most people will think it says there are 10 types of people in this world.
Okay,
No.
in writing, that joke is funny. I get it now.
You have to understand binary code.
I think you have
Which
to
is-
understand the basic idea that binary is ones and zeros, and that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah,
It's a pretty simple joke, but it is a good one.
it's base 2.
In writing. Don't worry,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as two.
Yeah. There really is no such thing as 2.
Okay, let's move on to literally anything else.
Any good trailers you see that you liked at Comic-Con? Or
Trailers?
any news out of Comic-Con that you liked?
Yeah, I thought the Shazam movie looked good. and Aquaman, but like that trailer didn't really do much for me. It was just like, here's a bunch of stuff. It looks like good stuff, but it wasn't a very good trailer.
I
Black
actually
Manta
kind of.
looks awesome.
Which one?
Black Manta looks awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't like that trailer personally. Aquaman. Yeah, I don't know. I love the Shazam trailer. It looked like a lot like the Jeff Johns run, Shazam that I read. But Aquaman, I guess I don't like the CGI. That's the big stinker for me is the CGI, and that I thought the animals in the water looked terrible.
It's a movie about a guy.
I know.
Fishies.
I know. I really don't like Aquaman to begin with, and this movie did not do anything to sell me on it. I know I'm gonna see it because it's a comic book movie, but man, I'm not looking forward to it. So, ta-da!
Your standards are so high; it has to be at least as good as Batman v Superman.
I don't know if this is gonna work, man. When you have jokes like redheads, what are you gonna do without them? Yeah, and jump out a window, airplane.
Yeah, that line was
What?
bad.
What?
That's not the way to end that trailer.
No.
Yeah. I mean, he's diving out of an airplane without a what's called parachute into like sand. I'm like, your powers aren't sand. Come on. Whatever.
He's not
He's gonna find
Sandman.
one little bit of water. Sandman.
Give me some sand. You know, I don't know. You're gonna explain he's got some sand powers now. They're like, oh, it's sand. It's got to be by a beach. I don't know.
I just had a blonde wrestler from the 90s with a bunch of cuts on his face carrying a cane show up in my head.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
Moving on.
Tell him to get out. Get out of my head.
Well, I'm pretty sure Sauce knows who I'm talking about.
Who?
Sandman?
Oh yeah, understand, man. Yeah, the guy was a beast. I met him outside of the rave here, where I live, because they're putting on a show. He parked right up front, and he got out of his car, and I was like, "Would you can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Sure." And he, it's cool.
Actually, there is a. Sorry, Yod.
Never mind.
Alrighty then.
I
There
drew a
is
cat. Sorry.
Alrighty then. There is actually a scene in the Jeff Johns Aquaman run in the New 52 where he does like fall into a desert. Maybe they're working off that.
I
don't
think
know the context of it.
someone showed. I was watching a breakdown of it, and someone showed one of the creatures is actually from like the Jeff Johns run, like some of them, like the evil creatures that he wrote. So maybe there's some to it that they're tying into it. Seeing as well, I think he's not no longer overseeing it because that's Jim Lee's job, overseeing the DCEU, but he is still like writing a majority of the movies now. So he's kind of taking over the role. I don't know if he's doing Aquaman though, but I wonder if almost it's just an inspiration for the movies.
As long as Zack Snyder's not involved, I'm fine.
I still think his cut probably would have been better of Justice League.
No cut would have been better of Justice League.
Yeah. When I hear Josh Whedon said, like, I saw that he did an interview where they asked him about Infinity War, and he's like, yeah, I'm glad what they did because I had no idea what to do with Thanos. And I was just like, you had no idea what to do with Ultron. That's exactly what happened. So I'm glad you're no longer part of this.
I thought Age of Ultron was fine.
Ugh.
It was too jokey, but still. I mean, for the setup it was going, it's like, we're going to crack these jokes during... This city is literally falling from the sky, and we're going to crack jokes. Yeah. That was a little silly. But the jokes were at least funny.
I also didn't like that they kind of established in that movie that Black Widow and Hulk have a relationship. I'm like, when did this come about? I was like, last I heard of Bruce Banner, he was going out with Betty, and they already had this movie. So
that wasn't so much the controversial part as, like, yay, shelf.
There we go.
Yay.
Need to mount it to the wall.
Anyway, there's the other.
I'll show the rest. Yeah.
Alrighty then. There you go.
Oh, there you go. It's just barely. Like the gap on this is like.
And what's going in those bottom ones?
So some of these are going to become my storage. So like I don't know if it's going to be drawers or doors or those fabric bins. But a lot of like my magazines and books are going to take up some of this, and then I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Trying to figure out. I wanted to get it done so that I could at least like get all this stuff that's on the floor taken care of, and situated before I go, and then that other stand, this 1x4 stand that's out here, is going to be the under TV deal under this. So.
Q.
Yeah. I need to. 21 minutes. Need to plug this in.
Anyway, I think we're like a half hour away from the 3 hour mark. Do you want to do pickups? Does anyone have pickups?
I have 0.
Musty got
I don't-
shelves. We know that.
Yeah, I got my shelves finally showed up. No, I didn't get anything. Too busy figuring stuff out for this weekend. So
Let's see. Did I pick up anything?
I believe we're asking you.
I got Shining Resonance for Frayne.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. And we already found that earlier. I also have nothing, which should not be shocking given last week. Anyway.
And Ease 8, but once again, and some sort of yeah, that's about it.
Okie dokie. Wanted to get that out of the way.
I have graham crackers.
That is probably more entertaining than Shining Resonance.
Ouch.
is that the game that Daria reviewed the demo for and kind of
Hated it? Yes.
She hated it, and now she's getting like raked through the coals by every single man. Who,
So, business as usual for Luke.
yeah.
I'm not surprised, but once again, I can't hold her not liking it against her because she's been very adamant about how she really loves Shining Force and how she really likes the old games and how the Shining series died on the Saturn. So I can't really blame her because it's a completely different game made by a completely different team that just so happened to have the Shining name tacked the Shining name tacked on it to make it sell better.
Yeah.
And yes, it is pretty much waifus and dragons and dating sim and visual novel with some action RPG slapped on the side.
It's probably not old enough to blame that on Game of Thrones, is it? Or it's probably older than.
And also, it's a 4-year-old game. If
That's
you're
what I mean.
reviewing it like a game from 2018, it's a budget title
What are you talking about?
2014. Made for a very Japanese audience.
Actually, I think we can blame Game of Thrones. It's been going on for more than 4 years.
Maybe. But yeah, it's nothing like the old Shining games, and I think that was her biggest complaint.
My biggest complaint is it's boring.
Boring.
It's boring and it's empty.
It's boring.
I don't think it's boring. But
And I disagree.
Whatever.
It's boring.
It's boring.
I'm kidding, I'm just bugging you. But I just didn't like the game. The demo, at least.
rabba, rabba, rabba. How dare you not like it? Rabba, rabba, rabba. Pitchforks and torches.
Rabble, rabble.
That seems to be the general gist of not liking something on the internet that's popular is we're going to chase you with pitchforks and torches and bad words until you like it.
Or you bug them until they dislike it, apparently. It depends on what you're talking about.
Well, I've how do I put it? I've found that one of the easiest ways to like make me hate something is constantly hearing about it, like ad nauseum from everybody. Because, yeah, that's why I'm pretty much at the point where I will never be able to get into Game of Thrones. I will never be able to get into Walking Dead or most of these really popular Western TV shows as of late. Because I had people constantly telling me, oh my God, you got to watch this. You're missing out because you're not watching this. Oh my God, you got to watch this. I'm like, dude, I'm not interested. I looked at it. I wasn't interested. Stop telling me to watch it.
It was at least a fair recommendation for one of those two shows, but it's still fine if you don't like it.
Yeah. Let's see. That's like, I also learned not to mention that I like anime in game stores to random people. Because then you will get your ear talked off about something like
Online.
Naruto or Sword Art Online or some super popular show that's kind of just garbage, in my opinion. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm not interested. Anyway. But
How's that
I've also
Demon Lord
had it
MMO
happen
show
with
you were
games.
watching?
Huh?
How's that Demon Lord MMO show you were watching?
Amusing as hell.
I don't even remember what the name of it is. I'm just messing with you.
How not to summon a demon lord.
Sounds about right.
You have a stupid plotty elf and a cat girl. And they summoned a freaking nerd guy who was playing an MMO, who was over leveled, like literally majorly over leveled, and basically just destroyed everyone else.
Also known as
So,
premise of literally every single one of these shows.
pretty
And
much.
Context for non-anime people, plotty in this instance means just giant breasts.
Pretty much.
Ooh.
Because that's what
Yes.
plot is in a lot of these anime.
Plot equals giant breast, flat equals. Yeah. Isn't the
I
anime
thought the term
fandom
was- I
great?
thought the term was fan service.
It is.
No, fan service regards to them basically being like, it's like, hey, look,
Which
we're
is,
going to put these characters in skimpy outfits for you. Thanks.
so all of
Thanks.
them.
Beebs.
Most modern shows.
A lot of them.
Beebs.
Pretty much. Japan is obsessed with boobs.
Beeps. Dean did tell me that. Dean once told me when I was looking at a Darkstalkers bookends, I was like, geez, the Morgan is really overstacked on this one. He says, well, Japan really loves their boobies.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exactly out of character for Morrigan, though.
Yeah. But this was like grossly oversized, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
So basically it was an anime figure.
Kind
Par
of.
for the course.
Yep.
So going to any comic
Yeah.
book store that has those, it's a little insane.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much what I've learned is Japan's like sexuality and boobs. Okay.
As long as it's not with each other.
Pretty much. I don't know. There's lots of weird stuff in Japanese media.
Yep.
I'm sure Vox could tell us about plenty of crazy Japanese game shows on TV.
Yep.
That I doubt he watches.
He only watches his laser discs.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Are you humming the Monday Night Football song?
Yeah, it got stuck in my head there for a second. I don't know why. Dun 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 dun.
Yay. I'm finally getting my figures back in the places. You can see
Nerd.
they look good.
Come on, man. If you're going to do the nerds, you got to do it correctly.
Nerd.
Nerds!
What is a nerd? We are.
Also, to be or not to be, that is FF.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah. Stuff you'd have to be a comp sci or an engineering major to understand.
I guess.
You'd have to know digital.
Let's
Actually, it's a
get
hexadecimal joke.
Digital. I want to get digital. Let's get digital. Let me hear the brownie tone.
Copyright strike here.
As long as I don't hum it correctly, you know. We don't need no Misty Mountains again.
Chief helmet.
I can't see it. That's all.
No.
I gotta put it on. I can barely see it now. There we go. That's
There you
better.
go.
That's butter.
Yay. Yeah. And then figures. We're getting there. Slowly but sure.
I had a friend that had one of those collector's edition Halo Xbox 360s. It died. I wasn't surprised. He pretty much chain smoked in front of it.
Did you buy that day one, Musty, or did you actively seek that 360 out?
My friend had it.
I can see me.
Oh, it's a shrine to the Final Fantasy game that I'm very open about not liking.
7?
8. Sorry. The whole time loop thing was kind of crazy to me.
Spoilers.
Is that better? Yeah, let's go with that guy. Ah!
See you later. I can see me though. My reflection.
I think the biggest problems I had with 8 were the, grinding for magic. And the story didn't make sense to me.
Don't need to grind for magic if you get the right refine abilities.
Yeah. You don't get that until like halfway through the game. I generally started that game out and sat there for like 2 or 3 hours grinding for magic.
I don't know. That was always cathartic for me.
So
I haven't played. I played 6, or I'm in the middle of 6 right now. I'm gonna kind of rekindle I'm gonna pick things up. As I understand, I'm at the halfway point. Something big just happened.
Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
6.
Something big just happened.
Does it involve an evil clown?
Yes, it involves an evil clown.
Trick question. All clowns are evil.
This one's more evil than most.
Yeah. He made a bad move. Let's just say that. That's right.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Did you just climb up some like giant sky thingy to try and stop him?
Yes, I tried to stop him from doing something.
Yeah. You weren't very successful. You're never very successful. The good news is, Musty, you could pretty much go straight to the end of the game now if you want, but don't do that. That is a very bad idea.
I'm not ready for that.
No, you're not. Is that a glow-in-the-dark perler bead?
Chief, no, it's a pixel plow.
Master Chef?
Those don't really show up on camera. They're just kind of white.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah,
not really.
A little bit.
Oh, so it's like a pixel light?
How about not? Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It has got a little light behind it.
If you turn the light off, it's probably easier to see in a lit room.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's butter.
Yeah.
They make them there's a ton of them. Pretty much any property now. Even the ones that weren't.
Let's see. So, which Final Fantasies have you played, Musty?
1, 4, 7, 8, 10.
Sounds like you skipped 2. Sounds like you skipped 3.
Well, most people skip 2.
I've
Most people
literally
skip 2.
played.
And I tried 3 on the DS, and I don't know.
Most people
You're
should
right.
skip that one too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really suggest skipping 3.
Yeah, I played 4 last year with the club. I'm playing 3/6 right now. I played 7, played 8, haven't played 9. Uh, or I've seen parts of the opening to 9, up until the forest.
9 was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I need to go. Well, what I said was I was going to finish 6 and then play 9, time permitting.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, if I could get both of those knocked out this year, that'd be cool.
I played, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I tried 10 too and hated it. I played 11 for like 600 days of playtime.
That seems low from what I've heard of other people playing it.
600 days, not
I know.
hours, days.
Oh, I'm aware. It still sounds low.
Yeah, but most of that is you leaving your character online so you can sell crap.
Move on. It was a joke. Just ignore me.
Anyway, I played 12. I played 13. I think I also played like Crisis Core and Dirge of Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Whatever. I suck at pronouncing these things.
And I think you need to have like an applause like buffer or something for you. So when you tell a joke, so Yoshi knows, it's a joke. Just face like applause underneath applause underneath the bottom of the screen.
There's a little sign that says that's the joke.
Yeah.
I've played just about all the Final Fantasy games I think I'm ever going to care about. Out of them, my favorites were 4, 5, 6, 9, and I think I also liked 1 a lot. So 5 is one I would suggest trying, but there does have a job system.
Yeah, Eric played through that, right? He seemed to really like it.
What?
Sure. That Eric played through it. Played through 5.
Sorry, Nintendo Power took it out of the box.
Man.
Final Fantasy is just one of those things I cannot get into no matter which one I try.
Same.
15 might be
kind of
for you then. I mean,
maybe.
See, I kind of I'm in the refusing to play 15 club because
I like 15 a lot.
To me, it just doesn't seem like a Final Fantasy game anymore.
It doesn't, which is why I'm interested in it.
Which is why it's probably divisive. That's why I can't get mad at people for like not saying the shine. I'm not mad at Daria for saying the Shining series died on the Saturn because I will tell you the Final Fantasy series died on the PS2.
That's never stayed the same.
I mean, like I didn't.
It hasn't, but after the PS2, they kind of just went way out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like they completely axed the turn-based battle system. They completely axed most of the stuff that made the games Final Fantasy games. Yeah, each one was different, but actually it was around 12, I think, that they started axing all the stuff that made them like feel like old Final Fantasy games. Now it's kind of turned into an.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now it's kind of just like an action RPG series.
Yeah. You could technically argue thematically that it stopped feeling like classic Final Fantasy at 7.
Actually, you could argue that it stopped at 6.
No, I don't know about that.
6
no,
at least.
It would be 6 because
6,
at 7 they went from being medieval fantasy to sci-fi.
Yeah, and it was just like a little bit of steampunk in 6. So it was still mostly fantasy, but
Yeah, it was mostly still medieval fantasy with a tiny little bit of steampunk.
yeah, and it was still
But it was
2D,
still
and
fantasy.
it was still
Yeah,
like the same kind of look and battle system.
yeah.
But then with 7, they changed the look. It's in 3D.
7 and 8 just
Boring.
kind of felt like black
Okay.
sheeps to me in a sense when I was playing through them. I'm like, this is totally different. And then when I hit 9, I'm like, okay, this was a return to form.
Mhm. But other than that, after 6, just 9. That's it. That's the only one that's been like classic formula.
Yeah, they haven't gone back to medieval fantasy since 9. And they also made some of the newer ones way more linear. And there's also Final Fantasy 13, which is pretty much a game-length prequel.
And there's
Or
15
a
where you have to
game-length.
push a car.
What is it? It's a game-length prologue, I mean.
15 has the push a cart.
That's
Yeah.
what I said. Yeah, I said 15 has that one.
He was saying 13.
I've also seen...
Nope, 15.
But I also watched my older brother play 15. I went, this doesn't look like Final Fantasy. What the heck is this crap? So...
I disagree.
Anyway.
Either
Yeah.
Musty's mumbling or something is wrong with the audio.
I am mumbling. Sorry.
It's
Well,
fine.
I didn't know what issue. I didn't know what issue this Nintendo Power was because the number was like folded to the back.
You know what's sad? I have a bunch of Nintendo Powers, but most of them are in horrific shape.
They're video game magazines, and most people have them in horrific shape.
Yeah.
I mean,
Then
honestly,
again,
it's honestly hard, in my opinion, to like who kept their magazines. Honestly, that's the thing. After a while, they stack up,
well,
and
who kept their magazines and who kept their boxes for the most part? The majority of us didn't.
yeah,
We threw them the hell out because
Well,
it's
yeah.
like, whatever.
the stuff gets old, and you got newer stuff. Why are you keeping these old magazines around, basically? You know?
Oh,
The way it worked for me
Tetris
was...
issue.
The way it worked for me was a lot of them ended up on like piles on the floor where they'd get stepped on and walked over and like shredded.
I had the first year of Nintendo Power because my cousin was subscribed to it, but I threw it away. I threw it away when we moved because I figured, what am I going to do with these old Nintendo magazines? Now I want to again. I have the first one and the second one, and a couple N64 ones that I found in the wild. But the first two I walked in because one guy was trying to sell it at a video game store that only buys video games and like movies. So they're like, sorry, we don't accept, magazines here. And I was like, well, I'll give you $20 for it. And he was like, okay, so
This is like half of the Nintendo Powers I have. As you can see, most of them are not in good shape.
Yeah, I have some old.
Dino Wars poster on the back of River City Ransom.
I have some like old PlayStation official magazines, but that's it. They're
And
even like newer than most people would even care about.
I would like to get like
and
the
most of
13
these are
magazine.
from like the GameCube era,
There's
Yeah,
a
N64,
I just
GameCube
got-
era, etc.
I just got a bunch in the like 200s.
Yeah.
277 is the 242 to 277 like run. Red Steel 2.
all
I
the
know,
dumb
but
Wii games.
On the topic of magazines and keeping like good shape and collecting them, sort of. This is without going back and getting the old volumes, but this is probably something only I will actually even really care all that much about. But you can find some magazines like the best of the magazine articles in these. Like there's the best of for Star Wars Insider. I've got a couple volumes of this.
Also, I believe there's a website that has all of the old Nintendo Powers archived on it, where you can just go download them and read through them.
There's a few
I
of
can't
those.
remember
like
what
that.
it was.
That one website got taken down though that advertised it like on Kotaku, where they completely did nice scans of everything, and basically it was like a really well done website, but that got taken down by Nintendo.
Which I don't understand that, Nintendo. They're literally magazines that are out of print that you're not going to get any money for anymore.
Nintendo, if they were smart,
Them.
if Nintendo was smart, they could do a volumes of paperback or make one gigantic hardcover
if
of
they
like
would just
every single magazine, and people would buy that stupidly.
Yeah, exactly this.
Yeah.
But Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me like a giant omnibus of like Nintendo Powers. Do like 50 magazines at once and stick them in an omnibus and put like.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet.
You could do it by console generation, like this is the NES run, this is the Super Nintendo run.
Yeah,
and
like,
they can
I
have
would
all the
love
reviews, which every game gets like an 8.
There's a world of
Well,
Nintendo
most of them
catalog.
got high reviews.
This game
Because they wanted
sucks.
them
It
to
gets
sell.
an 8 out of 10.
We're talking about
Well, that's
Nintendo
because
Power
they wanted them to sell.
Especially
Almost.
later run Nintendo games. Like when I was in high school and I subscribed to like Nintendo Power when like the GameCube run was on, like everything got like an 8 out of 10. And I know I kind of made that joke when I was on Portable because Curtis likes to read off the reviews and he asked me what I thought the score was. I was like an 8 out of 10 because everything I remember at that point in time got like an 8 out of 10.
Were they 8 out of 10? Actually, they were out of 5.
Was it?
But it was still basically out of 10 because they'd give things half scores. And I'm like, what is the purpose of doing a 0 to 5 system when you go in half increments?
I just remember that I was playing games. And I was like, "This game's good. This game sucks." And like you see how like other review sites, but because it was like the Nintendo game, where like everyone, the Nintendo Power, and that's honestly why I stopped subscribing to them because I didn't trust the reviews.
Well, I didn't read the Nintendo Powers for reviews. I got them to see what cool games were coming out, and I was able to look through the segments they had on the games and tell if it would be something I was interested in or not.
Yeah,
That's how I found out about most games.
Once I discovered EGM, then I was just like, all right, I thought EGM was better at like getting the leaked information, if you will, or something.
But yeah,
you remember tips and tricks? I would just go there, write down codes, and like go to the shopping market, write down codes, and then take them right back. I was like, no, I don't need this magazine anymore. Put that right back on the shelf.
If that was today, we'd just walk up with our smartphone, go click, 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 put the magazine back and leave.
But now, because there's Google.
Actually, now who gives a shit? Because you just go look them up on GameFAQs, and here's all the codes.
I remember printing off strategy guides from there in high school because I didn't want to waste the ink in the printer at home, so I would just go to the school printer and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go print something report, and then you actually find out like the strategy guide is like 65 pages or 85 pages, and you're like, whoops, sorry.
Off of GameFAQs?
Yeah. Those written ones. Just go right. Just try to be up. Put it right in the bag in a folder. Just put it right in my backpack and walk right.
I did that before I realized what ink costs money.
I did that all of this. I charged it right to the school. My parents were paying a good tuition to send me to private school. So
no.
Make it
I
up,
did that to my parents' printer
Mm-hmm.
before I knew that they had to pay for the ink.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it worked. I didn't understand they were buying ink. Now I'm like, oh God, I feel like a jerk.
It's like my first month on AOL.
I would
first month on AOL.
You didn't realize you had to pay for it?
I mean, like, I was a child. Like, I wasn't supposed to I didn't understand.
You don't know what money is yet. That doesn't. You're. Heck, even today, most kids don't properly understand money. As an adult, I'm sitting here going, okay.
I printed off the most pathetic strategy guides. Like, not even strategy guides, like, I think, like, codes and crap at the time, and that was at home. I printed off the guides, I remember, for Animorphs Shattered Reality, or whatever the PS1 game was, and which I did enjoy that game. And also, this is the most pathetic one, the card codes for Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Game Boy. Like, to unlock all the different cards, but it was individual codes.
Oh, I would
every freaking card, and I printed them out.
I would print out like 100+ page RPG guides off of GameFAQs. My parents yelled at me.
Understandably.
And I'm like, and I couldn't understand why they were yelling at me. Because they would, like, how do I put it?
Was they
It's
some
like they'd be
Charlie
like, why
Brown
the hell is
teachers
the
or
printer
something?
out of ink every 5 days? Or like every couple of weeks the printer would run out of ink and they'd be pissed off about it. It's like, I
Probably
just bought
paper.
ink for this
You'd
stupid
be-
thing.
Well, you'd be going through like probably bins of paper too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
They weren't
cheaper
happy
to buy
about
the
that.
guide. It would probably be cheaper to just buy the guide at that point.
Yeah, it was. But not when you're a kid and don't pay for the paper or the ink. Now I'm just like, why bother? Just sit here with your phone and read it off your damn phone or off a computer screen.
I know. I would
Don't
make
print
trips. I would make trips to the mall so I could hit up like a GameStop or EB Games, just to go to the strategy guide section to figure out what part I was stuck on. Find the game
Oh, yeah.
strategy guide, go right to the page. This is what I'm missing here. This is the puzzle I'm missing here. Goes right back and we'll leave the store. That'll be certain. Nope. I found what I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Bye. I would do that like
I just
once a
remembered
week.
something. There used to be an EB Games that's now a GameStop near my house. You know how when they had PS1 games, they had the little stickers on the PS1 games?
Sure.
Like they had the stickers on the side, so it's like if you didn't break the sticker, you could return it within 14 days.
I don't remember that. No, I do not.
Well, they had those at my store where if you didn't break the sticker, you could return the game for full price within 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
What I started doing was like, I'd take the CD case and open it the other way, like open it from the other end so that the sticker wouldn't be broken. And then I'd take the game out, put it in my console, play the game, and if I didn't like it, I'd just take it right back to the store. And be like, yeah, I changed my mind. And then get something else.
On a side note, Chris outdid all of us on the printing thing. He printed out the translation guide for Tales of Fantasia.
Nice.
I think that tops my Yu-Gi-Oh story. Anyway, we've gone past the 3-hour mark.
Which, one of the amusing parts about that is you're just probably playing the game through an emulator. Would be my guess. So it's like,
Just open a different window.
yeah, just Alt-Tab between the two. So,
yeah, that would make sense, which is even funnier.
then again, I remember the first computer I had, it could run SNES games. It didn't run them very well.
Yeah, my previous
my
computer.
phone's complaining that it's getting too hot.
Well, we have been going for 3 hours.
Yeah, and I've been charging it for half of that.
Okay. Yeah, we're kind of just rambling on stuff anyway at this point.
Yeah.
It was fun talking about wasted.
Getting stuff out of boxes.
I should probably be going to sleep sometime soon anyway, but
You can record your own box cast, Musty.
Yeah, make it a second
fun.
breakfast.
Lego.
Nerd.
Dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Sadly, most of my consoles are in a giant mess. I literally just have them all piled.
I'm finally getting these paper ream boxes full of readables out.
Oh. I also find it amusing how most of us go through these different phases of collecting. Like, I find most of us, when we first get into collecting, we kind of go into that, like, oh my god, I gotta collect all the things for this system.
or does
And then we end up with a bunch of crap, and we're like, oh god.
And then you got to figure out a way to get rid of all your Maddens.
Yeah, and other garbage games that you're just like, why did I buy these? Yeah, they were like $1 a piece, but why did I buy these? I could have bought a good game instead of these 20 shitty games.
Yep. Anyway,
That's why I stopped buying NES games.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Just a note though, if anyone's made it this far, first, I'm sorry. Second, the hangout will probably be Wednesday next week because of the Chicago Cartridge Con thing. So
Sounds
be
good.
aware of that. Okay. See everyone next week.
Sounds like a plan.